Where's Andy?
Where is Andy? He's hunting, right?
Here, man. He said he's hunting. I think he's out hogging. I don't know if anybody's been hogging before. It's where you go to a bar and you pick up fat chicks.
Hogging?
Hogging, bro.
Wow.
Night for the Comic Core comic chat.
Hey, let's be more body positive, all right?
Look, we're all body positive around here, all right? Ain't nobody got a problem with the chubby hubby or a chunky monkey. Those kind of things are all right in these books. Like, we are going to be here to talk comic books for a little while with you guys. And we're not going 4 hours. I'm not doing that shit again. If you guys checked the description of this video, you know that we will be being joined by our regularly scheduled guest. I'm just going to put him on the roster at this point. Later on, we'll be joined by Chaos and Comics to talk some comics. I got plenty of topics tonight, Jason. Plenty of topics tonight, but I know that you went to the LCS this week. I know that you got some packages this week. So we're going to start off with my favorite segment, Show and Tell. Jason, show the people what you got. Tell them a little bit about it.
I went both Tuesday and Wednesday just because I happen to be in the area, and normally I'm not. So I can't remember if I showed you this last time, the Kanto 2 TMNT cover.
We saw you open that. I'm not sure if we were off air or on air at the time, but
yeah, I can remember.
Yeah, I was there when you opened it.
I want to pull that one out again.
Pretty dope.
They had this in memory of Chadwick Boseman Spawn sketch cover. They're only allowing one per person for some reason. So I got that, and then I got the color version.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Had to get Donny Cates crossover.
We will definitely be getting into that tonight.
I'm gonna put that one aside for quick access. Got a Detective Comics number 1019 because I like stuff with cults, especially stuff with Batman and cults. That's hella dope.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm stoked about that cover. And then I showed you guys this Wonder Woman last night, actually, huh? Also, I had to get two, man.
Oh,
best cover. Pretty. Dude, Middleton's best cover since Batgirl 23. I'm surprised there's not hype anymore. Sweet Tooth, the return, Jim Lee cover.
I have never read any Sweet Tooth.
Me either.
Oh,
actually, I've read one issue I think before, and it had an indie playlist at the end that Jeff Lemire made. Is it a Sweet Tooth or I might be getting confused with Lemire's other indie book from back then? I forgot what it was called.
He's only writing everything,
right? Okay, and then I got Avengers Facsimile.
Dope.
Yeah,
I love facsimiles.
Me too, man. So good. Got Deceased Dead Planet because I love Swamp Thing covers. Even if it's Matina, you think, right?
Yeah. I gave up on that, man. You have to tell me how it was.
Yeah, me too, man. I haven't read Deceased in a while. I had to get this Web of Venom Empire's End Nola's Coming cover because that's hilarious. that's an ongoing joke, on the Wednesday night show. So yeah, I can't believe they actually made a cover of it this time. Fantastic. I wish they would have kept the old font where it's all drippy.
Yeah.
Much better.
This is the way to do it, man.
And Dark Multiverse presents Batman Hush. So that's why I got the new stuff.
I is so meant to read that this week. I love What Ifs. And I didn't get on it, man. I did not.
Me too.
I'm a little upset with myself.
In the mail, I got this Hellions issue 2 variant from Mike Mayhew.
Oh, beautiful. That's an Unknown Comics variant.
Yeah, dude. So sick.
Badass.
Super stoked on that one. And then the other thing I got in the mail was from Unknown Comics. Got this box. And in it was this extra rare version of Thor. Pretty dope. And then some other they're stuck in there. Some other I guess exclusive covers they included, which I think are okay. This Wolverine issue 4.
That's incredible. I'm gonna put you back on the big screen.
It's Witchblade.
Oh, sweet.
Marvel Zombies Resurrection, which I'm not a big fan of, but I think they sold out of this one, so that's kind of cool.
No, I like any time they do that
300
cover
homage.
swipe. Yeah.
This issue of Venom, but that's pretty cool. I basically got it just for this book, just because I have like the other 2 versions.
Right.
So, and then it came with a T-shirt also of I guess this design.
That's pretty dope, man.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. Or it's either that or this one. Yeah, I think it's this one.
I like that box.
Yeah, it's a nice box. It's pretty cool. I think that's it. And then I got some Blu-rays. I can't remember if I showed you guys this last time.
Get some fancy physical medias.
I did, dude. Stanley
All
Kubrick,
right.
The Killing.
Oh, dope. Yeah,
Kubrick.
I think you showed that, but I don't remember where we showed it.
Yeah, right. I don't remember where I was.
Hey, it's just the way it goes, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't remember
What
you showed.
You know? Got
Right.
Lahane.
Oh my!
And then Fritz Lang's M. Fritz Lang is mostly known from Metropolis, and this is a black and white film with what's the dude's name? Peter Lorre. Like they use his likeness in Looney Tunes all the time back in the day.
Yeah.
But this movie M pretty much like is, I guess, set the standard for film noir, like, you know, detective stories and stuff. Like I guess that's like every director's like favorite movie of all time, and that's where it started was this one. So, and then also the last one I got was Orson Welles' F for Fake, and that's kind of shot like a strange way. It's a mixture, I think, of like handheld footage and like documentary style, but telling like a true and false narrative, like mixed together. So you're not sure what's real and what's fake, and like things.
So it's
he made
like
up.
every day,
right? But it's like it's like talking out of your ass, pretty much. But you know, like Fox News, I guess, right? And but like that's the first of its kind. You know, I thought that was really cool and interesting. So I'm stoked to get that. And then for my father-in-law, I got Stagecoach, his favorite Western.
Ooh, John Ford.
Yeah.
So. Cool.
Yeah, dude.
Let's hop into the chat before I do my little sharing here. I got Ricky Markstadt said, if you're not first, you're last. So you're all last because he was first. Drop in the Discord server that is also available in the description of this video below. What's going on to Jason Smithers? Jason Smith. He's proud new grandpa. He's very happy that we're all going to pick up fat chicks. Good to see you in the chat, man. Haven't seen you around a lot lately. Good to have you. Stream Elements Robots here to make sure that we're all in line for the robot takeover later on this year. Doesn't matter who you voted for. The Stream Elements bot is going to be running things come January. Ruben Guzman, Cowabunga fam, what's going on, bro? Good to have you in here. Big winner on the Seawood giveaway.
Right.
I won some stuff
to
Seawood as well. Good to have another 500 subscriber channel as part of the core. We got Comic Burrito. What's going on, Burrito? Glad to have you here. Chaos is in the chat. He's not here yet. I think he's playing his own entrance music, I guess. He'll be here soon. Comic Burrito wants Chaos to be proud of him for reading X-Men. We're all proud of you for reading X-Men, man. That's what you should be doing. K Titus, Konnichiwa, Samurai Ken. You guys don't know about the K Titus, man. Get on him. He's out there shouting out all kinds of cool people on the tubes. So and check him out. Samurai Ken's a good dude. Good to have you, my brother. All right, I'm going to share some stuff for you guys. I didn't buy a whole lot this week. Kind of balling on a budget right now. I haven't even bagged and boarded my comics. I got to crossover. We're going to definitely talk about that. So I'm going to put that aside here where I can reach that easily. Captain Marvel, one of the best ongoing books in superhero comics right now. Really digging this. The art is Lee Garbett. And last time I talked about Lee Garbett, I was like, I'm not super familiar with this guy. Did a ton of freaking variants, and I've been pulling these books and from my own collection and getting them all labeled up. And noticed that a lot of Lee Garbett covers have been coming out of like Boom Studios. So
cool.
He did a bunch of the Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers crossover.
Nice. So he ain't Lee Garbage, is what you're saying?
No, Lee Garbett is not Lee Garbage. Lee Garbett is muy bueno.
Hell yeah, dude, that's awesome.
As my friends from
what's going on
South of the border would say.
What's going on with Star?
Star. I don't know, man. I haven't seen any Star stuff in a while. I think the
It was
pandemic
like only
really.
4 issues, right? It was 4 issue thing, and then
Yeah, but
I thought she was going to be in the Captain America book still, or a Captain Marvel book after that. But
right now they're doing this, and I'm still enjoying it. Right now I'm doing this. They're doing this Clash of the Centuries thing, where they're talking about like how the world got to this Captain Marvel the end like continuity. So she's spending more time there, and we're getting kind of the reverse engineering of how she ended up there.
okay,
So or how the world ended up where the world is. It's actually pretty good, man. I'm really enjoying it.
so are you
Wolverine.
saying like
What's
you're
that?
saying like Captain Marvel, like the ends that version of Captain Marvel? She's in this current comic.
She is not in this. Like when in Captain Marvel, the end,
Mm-hmm.
she goes to this alternate future where uh, there's a bunch of surviving like children of the Avengers, and some of the Avengers are still alive.
Okay.
And she dies saving them, right?
Mm.
In like the world ends basically. That's how Captain Marvel the end works. This is that continuity. It's the future. She's finally visiting that future, but we're getting more of a like an exploration of what that future is and how it became what it was, which is kind of cool because I like what Thompson's doing with it, and Garbett's art is really good. I'm really enjoying it.
That's just up.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's been a solid title. I started off on this run on Captain Marvel. The first arc was a little bit underwhelming, but they had fantastic Amanda Connor variant covers. So I started buying it for the Amanda Connor variants. And then Mark Brooks started doing the variants. And then I started reading the story, and I was like, this is fucking killer. It's really, really good. And I'm enjoying it. She's finally got her groove back from being completely compromised by Civil War II and that storytelling, which
Good.
like say what you will about Bendis, he's got his ups, he's got his downs, but he totally assassinated the character of Carol Danvers.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Captain America comes out smelling like roses and was literally a secret Nazi at that point in time. So it's like it's kind of hard like for Captain Marvel to be hit as hard by that period in Marvel continuity.
I always wonder where like Hydra Cap went, or where he is now. Because I know
he's out. He's in the ether.
He escaped. I think the jail.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yeah, I loved when Deadpool was like dealing with that
was awesome.
Secret Empire. I love Secret Empire.
Yeah,
I think that the main event had some missteps, but I think that the whole lead up to it and the payoff of the whole thing was really good.
Yeah, I feel like I wish the current Deadpool comic would be him hunting Hydra, or hunting that Captain America as kind of the Punisher was him hunting Hydra, pretty much, Baron.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I wish Deadpool was like that now. Like that was such a great time because like that's when he betrayed his friends that were in Shield and stuff too.
The end of that run was so freaking good though. With him, basically, it was one of those oversized. We got 3 of them a month, $10 Deadpool comics.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it was really good because Duggan had him just go through his own imagination and assassinate himself to kill all of his memories of all the growth that he mapped out for him over the course of like 300 freaking issues. Really, really great stuff.
Yeah, Duggan's run is incredible on Deadpool, especially the last issue, the way it ended. He even got to kill himself in the comic. Like Duggan is like on the side of the road and like Deadpool kills him.
I really love that. I really like this too. This was Wolverine Black, White.
I did too, man. That was really good.
Yeah, it's just kind of
I gotta go back.
Really cool look at all the art in here. Like get some Duggan storytelling in here. Rosenberg writes a story.
Yeah, the second one.
The Cabin Fever, the third one, that Declan Shalvey.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the whole so great. I love Shalvey's work, and I think that he's best when he writes and draws his own stuff.
Yeah, me too.
But it's just like, I mean, come on, like that's just pretty.
Go to the splash page, dude, where he's like standing on top of bodies.
There's a couple of really good ones in here.
It's like right after he's done like slaughtering those dudes in the house. Yeah. That splash page is
Just
crazy,
killer,
dude.
man. Just absolutely insane.
I'm pretty sure they use that for advertisements just for that series. Is like
Right.
that page, dude.
The Kubert cover alone is like,
Mhm.
come on, man. That's iconic.
That first Kubert story, the art in there by Kubert is really good.
I mean, it's all good, man. I got
That
we'll talk
second
a
issue,
little bit of X-Men.
you see the
What's that?
cast for the you see the cast for the second issue?
No.
It's sneak previewed at the end. I want to say there's like a Saladin Ahmed story, a Claremont story, and
Like I really don't even care who writes it. I want to know who's going to be drawing it.
Yeah, they say there too.
Vita Ayala and Greg Land. That'll be cool. Chris Claremont with La Roca. That'll be cool. It's a patch story. And Ahmed with Kev Walker. That looks pretty freaking cool too, man.
Dope. Yeah,
I can't wait.
Go back
this is a really, really, really cool gimmick.
Yeah, I love the short like one and done stories, man.
Right.
Like, I wish they do that to Batman again, like the
freaking
Gotham.
amazing.
I think it was called Gotham, Batman Gotham. Oh, Dark Knight series, which is the Dark Knight.
So we got
we got
14 both. Of Apocalypse's story in X of Swords. This is the next part, and it's basically the whole story with Genesis, and that's shown from a different angle. Oh, looks like hold on. Well, we're gonna finish up this segment here, but let's bring in our guest so we can finish up this segment. Chaos and Comics, what's going on, buddy?
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Dude, we're just going over our pickups this week.
I've been watching while I set up. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so X-Men has continued to be really good, and Marauders ends with like that. Anybody reading one of these stories just questions why the end of Marauders doesn't happen more often. I feel like it's really a payoff to all the cynical comic book readers who are like, why doesn't Wolverine just stab the guy? Yeah, because Wolverine just freaking stabs the guy. And there's this whole like, you know, it's this kind of convoluted, like, you know, dance with the devil before you duel him kind of thing that Saturnine's doing in Otherworld. And at the end, Wolverine's just like, so you just want to see all these people die, and you're like, you don't care who suffers. So like, I'm gonna nip this in the bud, and he's just like, snick, 2 claws right through her, and then it ends with her laying in a pool of blood. So like, I'm kind of curious as to if that works. I mean, like, does that work? And also, like, where does it go from there? I think that all the storytelling with Apocalypse and 14 of X-Men was phenomenal. Before we go any further into, like, Chris, anything that you picked up this week, I've been digging through these boxes in my house and kind of labeling some of my books. I think I'm going to start getting rid of some of my collection, listing some things on eBay, and doing some auctions. And I've been trying to dig through my stuff and, you know, put some labels on things. Like, just for example, some of my older books I put in grades on, but here I have Black Hammer. And it says, you know, Black Hammer #1, first printing, Dean Armstrong and Dave Stewart, cover A. Just some information. So I've been pulling out some really cool books that, like, I forgot I had. And some of these are really cool. It's like Justin Jordan's Spread with Kyle Strahm. This is a Walking Dead homage cover. I got that double signed on there. Met them at Third Eye Comics. That's a pretty freaking cool cover. I also did this cool Frank Miller homage here as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, pretty freaking cool book. And if you guys haven't read Spread, I would definitely check it out. It's Lone Wolf and Cub meets The Thing, and it's pretty badass. I was talking to Jason about this before the show started. I got a really nice copy of Scud the Disposable Assassin. I am actually hunting down this run right now. And this is a fantastic story. If you guys are fans of Rob Schraub, he was a co-creator of the Sarah Silverman Show. He wrote Heat Vision and Jack with Dan Harmon, and Monster House with Dan Harmon. He's Dan Harmon's writing partner. and he's currently a writer on Rick and Morty, and he does some fantastic art in here. The Scud that is
from the 90s, or is
Yes.
that the first volume? Okay.
Yeah, this is early Scud. So you got some. I'll just show you guys a little bit of the art in here. It's wonderfully detailed. It's just fantastic interiors.
Yeah.
All black and white. Fantastic story about a disposable robot assassin who finds his worth as a human being and decides to not blow himself up at the end of his first mission. So that's pretty badass. I got a couple of homage covers here. Well, an homage cover before I get into one of my favorite things that I found. And this is the IDW Ghostbusters run. They did a Bohemian Rhapsody cover.
Nice.
And this is going for a couple bucks, really, like more than
It's
I
one of
thought
those
it
that
would
you
be.
see on the shelf and you gotta grab. Like, you know, you're just gonna put it in a box, but you're like, oh, that's too cool. I
Right?
gotta grab
I
it.
never
When it
read
goes into
this,
a box.
but it's a beautiful cover, and if somebody wants to pay me for it, I'm probably gonna put it on the eBay and get a couple bucks for it. And this is another one that I forgot that I picked up. This is a Jim Lee Umbrella Academy variant. Freaking
That's pretty
dope there. Yeah, and it's going for a couple bucks too. So now this was from the second run, Dallas. And so it's not as sought after as the first run, but
Right.
by far more than I paid for it. So we're gonna see what the eBay's
Hell yeah.
eBay. We're gonna shake that eBay tree and see what kind of money fruit comes out.
Yeah,
Chris, you
just
pick up
gotta
anything
sit
cool
there.
this week, man?
I did. Picked up a few things. I get like I say all the time, I get stuff mail order, so I didn't get everything I would have gotten. I'm sure we'll talk about these more. I have stuff to say. So I accidentally bought Stasis again. I forgot that I hadn't read it. I just didn't see that cover.
Oh,
I
that's
was
the
like,
Del
oh,
Mundo cover.
Yeah, and I think I mail ordered this too. But so I wasted money, but you know, now I have to.
It's a sweet cover.
Yeah, it is. It's really nice.
Might as well have two of them.
Yeah, I haven't read this yet, but they'll have 3 stasises of 3 issues of stasis. And then that we'll talk about all these. I put them on top. I haven't read a bunch yet. Did anyone do that? Get Origins?
I did not do Origins.
It sounded cool to me. You know, the first issue is always just the solicit plus a cliffhanger. Like that's the way indies work, you know. So I already sort of know what's going to happen in here, but we'll
I
see.
like that
It sounded
cover,
pretty
though.
cool.
The art looks pretty badass.
Yeah, I didn't even flip through it. Just future and robots took everything over, killed everyone. I mean, I'm a sucker for that stuff. Comedy and tits. Doesn't love that.
Yeah, Money Shot. I heard Money Shot's great.
Yeah, it's pretty funny that this girl. So Tim Seeley's just a solid writer all around. I mean, he's written enough that you there's probably stuff that isn't good, or he's that kind of writer where maybe you don't like.
Her Twitter's really great.
Yeah, and then Sarah Beatty, she's pretty funny.
Sarah Beatty.
I like the number one. I never ended up sticking with it.
Yeah, I like it better than, as far as like sex comedies. I like it way better than Sex Criminals. I couldn't get into Sex Criminals. I read the first 2 volumes, so that's 10 or 12 issues, and I stopped.
You tried.
Yeah,
It's over
it was
now.
good.
You can go finish it.
Yeah,
I will, because I like Fraction so much. The Goddamned, I'm all about this. Didn't you talk shit about this art?
No, I didn't enjoy the cover. I thought that the cover didn't look like something that appealed to me.
looks like a New Yorker. Like the New Yorker.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's called Virgin Brides. The young women are sacrificed to some demon, and they're like sort of
And that's like the second volume?
groomed for it. Yeah, the first volume is really good too. They're sort of groomed for it, and then they escape and whatnot. The first issue is a little bit weird, but that's good. I'll get through these quick.
It's like a biblical Game of Thrones type deal.
No, it's less Game of Thrones. It's more like a biblical, like just like a fantasy world set in Bible times. You know what I mean? Which is surprisingly underdone, because there's so much magic and bullshit. Obviously, people don't do it because they believe it's real. But they don't believe the other fantasy is real. But surprisingly underdone, because obviously the European fantasy, that's done all the time. And you'll get stuff like Asian, especially in manga and anime, right? But you don't get a lot of Bible fantasy fiction. You're reading this, aren't you, Drew?
I am not. No, I did not pick it up.
I wanted to. The script.
Yeah, I heard that it's subpar, but if you're an Alien diehard, then you kind of need to be on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it subpar. It's just that the original screenplay is so close to the regular movie.
Yeah,
you know, all it is like the designs and the descriptions before like H.R. Geiger came into it, and he's important thing too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a lot more.
So much of it is Geiger.
Yeah, a lot different is a lot different is the original Alien 3 screenplay by William Gibson. That was completely different.
Right.
It wasn't a prison planet and stuff, so that one made more sense.
Yeah, I watched some YouTube videos about that.
Yeah,
go down an alien hole. Have you watched the Raised by Wolves yet?
No.
No, that's the Ridley Scott TV show.
Mm-mm.
It's like apparently not connected, but it's very, very much like the cliffhanger for the series is very much a Prometheus kind of based, like at least in design, if not in look, it's
not connected but could be connected kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like let's do our own thing over here because technically Disney owns Fox, which means they own Alien right now. So so WB is doing what they want to do with that.
You know, Blade Runner and Alien are supposed to be a shared universe, right?
Really?
Do you know?
Oh, there's what's his Wayland Industries? Yeah,
I think Ridley Scott said that.
That's awesome.
He considered them as a shared universe, or just in separate times. And then the last three, this is an indie from a new label called Behemoth. I think I showed you guys that cassette tape comic last week.
Yeah.
So same publisher. I guess this is a video game. This is just a real like violent 80s Miami like drug story. It's okay. And then Thor, of course. Is anyone reading this? You guys?
I am reading it, but I didn't pick it up yet this week. I was low on cash, and I had to buy my must reads and get the hell out of there. Yeah, run before you ask for credit. And then last one is
I know he'll give it to me. That's why I don't ask for it.
The director's cut.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that I needed this, but fuck it. And it's just black and white.
And is that number one, the director's cut?
Yeah, it's number one director's cut. I guess I'm curious. I said last week I want the decorum script.
Yeah.
But I like to see this script too, see how much. I feel like it might reveal stuff in the first script, like too much, because just to get the Easter eggs in there, you got to kind of explain where it's going. I can see that. And then like his directions to the two artists, I think might be interesting. It might be like one of those where the script's interesting enough to like, because it's weird working with two artists on a book.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be.
It actually makes me want to pick it up now. I had it in my hands and I put it back. But because I had plenty of those director's cuts where it has a script and stuff. I'm like, I don't care about a Tom King script. But like that, but you're right. The way just like working with two different artists, I was like, maybe I should pick it up now.
Yeah, see if it's different. I mean, I sometimes when I really like it, I'll sometimes want to see like. Sometimes you see those real detailed scripts, and then sometimes I like to see like how much the artist is doing, and you really know that if you have the script. But then you have to have time. That's an important thing.
Yeah. Sure. It's much more fun to read a comic book story than going and trying to learn it and reading a director's cut.
Some director's cut though I really enjoy. Yeah,
because buying a live album, right? Those are for fans. You need to go buy. Yeah. You need to, if you're just a common fan, or whatever, you need to go buy the regular album. But if you're a big fan of the band, then you pick up the live album.
Yeah.
Or you pick up the rare studio session pressings.
Yeah, the Criterion version. And watch the commentary.
Right. I seen some director's cuts I really enjoy. Having another lens with which to kind of view it through, and some of them just like, why did I buy this? Yeah. Let's check in with the chat real quick before we move on to our topics. Bear is in here, or was in here at a certain point. Good to see you, Bear. Comic Burrito still chopping it up. Bub's Comics was in here. Chaos loves to finish on Comic Core. Oh my goodness.
He sent me a link. He sent me a link to whatever he was doing live, and I told him I was on Comic Core. He's pretty mad.
Well, why isn't he doing that? Instead, he's in our chat. We're happy to have you, Bubs.
I should send the link to Bub.
Yeah, Bubs can come on.
I'll send a link to Bub.
Yeah.
Yep.
Comic Crazy's in here. What's shaking? Good evening.
He likes to complain about reading.
Sometimes reading's hard. Comic Crack. What's going on, man? I love that Daredevil icon. Appreciate you being here.
Oh, there we go. This is Terrence. Terrence is cool. He's also like a noise music composer. So
nice.
Comics and weird ass music on his channel.
That's awesome.
Dope. I'm gonna definitely check that out.
No,
you guys are done with this video. You can check out Comic Crack. You're saying I'd hate it?
Oh, you'd hate it. Like, it is noise. You know what I mean?
I mean, I like noise.
Yeah.
I'm down with noise. Not everything has to be aesthetically pleasing. Now, before we get into the comics that we read this week that we're really going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into, I want to talk about our news story. Our news story that is the big rumor that has been covered by every single news outlet, and that is post Future State, DC will be taking an omniversal model, they're calling it, and not connecting their continuity anymore, not worrying about any of that. I keep seeing 2 lines on that, and it's like continuity is confusing to people, and that this will allow for the freedom for creators to tell the good stories they want to tell without being bogged down by continuity. It seems to me, at least from my perspective, that we're discounting the fact that these universes being connected and having that connective tissue makes them a living, breathing world in which these stories can be interesting. And without that, we're going to lose a lot of that luster. What do you guys think? I'll start with you, Chaos. What do you think about DC? Do you think that they would be doing themselves a disservice or setting themselves up for success and ignoring a shared universe continuity?
Well, real quick, Drew, where'd this news come from?
It came from Bleeding Cool. It came from Screen Rant. It came from, what was the last one I got on here?
Was this an announcement from like DC?
No, it is. The source right now is Rich Johnston from Bleeding Cool has a source inside DC, right? Mm-hmm. That is the source that is being shared right now. So at this point, pure speculation that this is the way things are going to go.
So yeah, so hypothetically, if this happens, if they just decide not to continue with continuity, that's the hypothetical question. Right.
Okay. So yeah, what do you think would be the best way to come forward with this news to the people? Do you think it would benefit them in storytelling? Do you think it's going to benefit them in sales?
I think it's comics, right? Nothing's like whenever there's some big change, everyone thinks it's so permanent, you know? And like, I don't think anything's permanent. I think at least in the short term, I think it's a good idea. It's worth a try. You could start doing some crazy things like Hawkman. In the Hawkman book, you can start doing like world-changing things, let's say. You know, where Hawkman, you can never do that really because, I mean, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, there's like 10 other characters, in front of them. So I think it's worth a try. You can like
look. I hate to interrupt you, but we have a very, very special, important guest who's way more important than you were as a special guest. We got to add him to the stream right now so he can hear you firsthand and your response here. Bub's Comics, Bub.
Hey, what's up, man? What's going on, Jason, Drew?
Thank you for joining us, my friend.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I'm so happy to be on here. This is my first.
Happy to be interrupting chaos, right?
Every time. It's my first appearance on the Comic Core channel.
What?
Yep,
Really?
very first. I'm guessing you guys didn't get the blacklist memo, so it'll probably be my last appearance on the channel.
You were not blacklisted, my friend. I've got admin privileges. I do whatever I want.
Just check your email in the morning.
There are no rules when Uncle Drew runs the stream.
Yeah, there's no rules. No boss
fair
rules.
enough. All right, well, it's good to be on here. Either way, glad to have you all here. And Chris Sarda at Chris Sarda / Chaos and Comics. Alter Ego is coming fast. So Good to have you guys. All right, go ahead. Talk amongst yourselves.
Good to have us.
Yeah.
So, hey, before we go on with this, Bub, I'm really proud of him. He's actually started to think about actually reading the comic books he collects.
Wow. Instead of
well,
those old golden books.
Yeah, he even read Origins, and he's no longer just reading Wikia to figure out what happened. So it's a big deal.
I tell you, you guys inspired me to do so. I'm serious. So,
Hey,
so
man, it's your money. They're your books. You do what you want with them.
Well, see, that's the rub. So I'm not reading. Chaos said I'm reading the books I'm collecting. I'm collecting books, and then I'm reading other books that I'm not collecting. So I'm reading. I'm reading digitally. So here's my plan: is after I read a run and I finish it, if I decide that I really loved it and I want to commemorate my love for that by getting a single book, I'm going to pick a book out of that run and buy it to commemorate it. So like right now, I finished reading the first run of Canto. So I'm going to go out and get a Canto #1. And I know that it costs more, but it doesn't cost more than if I had bought all the books in the run plus every variant like some people do, That'd been like, $50 right there. So instead, I'm going to take the $50 and get a non-slabbed low-grade Canto 1 and call that a day.
That's a great idea. I like that.
So I think he's going to start. Drew's going to like this. I think he's going to start Black Hammer eventually.
Nice.
I told him he's a Golden Age collector. He likes the Golden Age stuff. I told him Black Hammer is like Golden Age, except written well.
It's all the ages of the comic books: Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze, but combined in one story. It's fantastic.
I gotta tell you, I read that.
Not a deconstruction as much as it's an homage
to
all
every
history. Trope in the history of publicated sequential art.
I like that. What number are we on, or is it already over?
There's a spin-off universe that is still ongoing. So like he's putting out little 4-issue stories that take place in the universe but are kind of disconnected. I would say
the main story's over, but he's still spinning off stuff.
I would say have a volume 3, you said. So.
Read it was 2 volumes in each story, right? So it was 4 volumes of Hammer.
There's 2 volumes of Hammer right now, I believe.
Volume 1 and Volume 2. Then I'd read the Justice League Black Hammer crossover. And then I'd read Age of Doom, which was Volume 3 and 4.
Let's get through Volume 1 first before we start.
Look, man.
He reads 3 pages, and if he doesn't like them, he stops reading it. So hopefully the first 3 pages are good.
It's gotta grab me.
Bob, my favorite issue of Black Hammer, Bob, is like I want to stick around like 11, I think, and it's not written by Lemire, it's by his buddy, but it's a totally Grant Morrison idea. It's about like where like comic book characters go after they're like deleted from history or gone from the comic.
Like the Island of Misfit Toys.
That's like 300 pages, Jason. He's not gonna.
No, I mean, if the first
have some faith in the man.
I mean, if it starts off written by Lemire, I got a good chance of liking it. So
yeah, it's interesting.
I like Bubs. I just don't have any faith in him.
I don't blame you. What was the other one I read this week? Chaos that had the.
You didn't like Department of Truth.
I didn't like. No, that was.
I didn't read that. I didn't read it.
The art was so bad, and the story was like, if you're a big conspiracy theorist, then fine. But I don't really get into all that stuff. The real history is bullshit enough. Like I don't need the fake history. What was the one I read though this week? I liked it really well. It had the hell. It wasn't Origin.
I got your message up here.
Did you read crossover?
Yes, crossover.
Yeah.
Last
wow.
Let's talk about crossover.
Too. I was gonna say Scumbag and Last Ronin. You like too?
Yeah, and I liked crossover. I was really
like
surprised.
Crossover. We're going to talk about crossover. Let's go ahead and just let's transfer into talking about crossover now. I think that
we didn't even talk about DC.
Well, what's that?
We'll go back to it. We can go back to that.
We'll get back to it. Let's go to crossover.
Yeah, we'll get back to it. I don't want to. We'll get back to it. Bump came in.
I won't get too into the plot, but all that I wanted to say about it was that of all the books that I read this week, which was a lot, like I read more books this week than I've read in a month easily, maybe 4. So put together, and I was just like, it's a book that I'm still thinking about. So
Yeah.
all the other ones, even Last Ronin, when I read that, I was like, okay, who's it going to be? What's it going to? Then when it kind of fell off at the end, and I was like, I'm looking forward to the next one, but I'm not like, come on, I wish this was a weekly book. This was the only book I read this week where I was like, damn it, how long do I have to wait to read the rest? So I'm kind of impatient. So we'll see.
I really want to talk about that cliffhanger about like what it could mean. I mean, it's funny that Donny can use these character names, I guess, but I mean,
well, see, the thing is that character should be in the public domain, right? There's no right.
So should be Spider-Man and a bunch of others,
but so should Mickey Mouse, and that's not going to fucking happen either. So I'm willing to go into
I proposed that. Sorry, real quick.
Go for it.
Fun fact to the Mickey the copyright thing. There was, I think, for like around in history, I forgot what year was. I think the 70s or 80s. It was like, I think it's like 1 minute or like a couple seconds. Disney did not own the copyright to Mickey Mouse, and there's these 2 comic books that came out that kind of captured a bunch of like old racist Mickey stuff that's lost from history, and they're able to publish that. So you can find that on eBay. It's a little hard to find, but it's on eBay.
One or the Air Pirates?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who published it.
The Air Pirates is an 80s book, and that guy got sued.
Yeah, they got busted for that.
Yeah, this one I'm not sure who published it, who made it, but there's 2 like issues of like racist Mickey Mouse comic book
from
stuff.
the 30s. From the 30s?
I think it's older stuff.
Overt racist stuff from Disney back then that it doesn't have to be Mickey. There's plenty of. I mean, the last semblance of racism has been erased when they took Splash Mountain out of the park. So,
yeah.
Now it's all going to be Princess and the Frog themed.
They're trying to hide that history. Yeah.
Instead of Brer Rabbit, like that Brer Rabbit, like that was.
Dude, all I've been doing recently is like watching those old Looney Tunes cartoons on HBO Max. Man,
yeah,
I started binge watching from like season 1 of Looney Tunes. And I'm down to like season 7 or 8 now, but like,
dude, that's some good Jonah Hex territory right there.
It is, yeah, dude. It's perfect.
Like you discount how great it was to get high and watch cartoons back in the day.
It's awesome. But there's like,
who thought of Looney Tunes as seasons? By the way, like, did you just like one would pop on? What like?
Yeah,
the hell's a season for Looney Tunes? Like you're on the 6th season. I thought there was just 1,000 cartoons, and that was
right.
Right. Yeah. Just come out as soon as you put another one down, the next one comes out.
Sorry to interrupt. That was a tangent.
No, I like that tangent, man. We're all about tangents here. Let's get into crossover though, because I want to kind of get into spoiler territory with this book. There's really no way to discuss issue number 1 without going into spoiler territory. So basically, in the midst of Denver, Colorado, one day, or is it Denver? It's somewhere in Colorado.
Yeah,
Denver.
Yeah.
Right. There's a giant explosion, and there's a crossover event of all the fictional characters in comic book history.
Hey, blow that up. Blow that
fighting
up.
each other.
Make yourself big, dude. Blow that up. You got to show that off.
All right, hold on.
You're gonna make chaos big if you blow it up too big.
That's a great double splash.
He loves that.
Great double splash.
You know what?
The Geoff Shaw art in this is fantastic. The decun of colors,
I agree, but
really great.
At this part of the page, I thought I was going to be disappointed in Geoff Shaw.
Me too.
Really?
Yes,
I didn't love this. Yeah. I didn't love this, and I love the layout. I reviewed this earlier today. I love this layout, but I was like, oh, I don't know if I like the art in that. And then from this page afterwards, I loved it. So.
I think he's doing something.
I hated his scream.
Yeah,
face was freaking terrible, and I was like, "This is gonna suck." And then you see Elle for the first time, you're like, "Ooh, that's not bad."
This lady gets this like shrapnel brick just smacking her fucking head in. Like, come on, that's beautiful. And the thing that I love about this is because he even really says it right here. He says the word exactly is according to ground reports and footage. Almost every fictional comic book character you have ever heard of was cited amidst the chaos. Yes, chaos. You name it, from the green men with fins on their head, Savage Dragon, to men dressed as bats, Batman, or spiders, Spider-Man, or gods with giant hammers, Thor.
Yeah,
God
People
Country.
have claimed to have seen them in the footage. No one knows how. No one knows why. It was a comic. It would be the greatest selling comic book of all time, dude.
But it's not a
Savage Dragon.
But it is
Savage
a comic.
Dragon.
It's a freaking comic.
Oh, it's so meta.
It's absolutely great. Now the one thing, he starts this book off right? The first page says, "Who's more real, us or Superman?" Really, right? So he's talking about Superman right away in an image book. This dude's getting sued. He's gonna push.
Talk about Superman.
Well, you can talk about Superman, but can you show the likeness of Superman?
Hasn't yet.
Kind of the last.
He did.
At the end, it's pretty hokey.
It is, but it's pretty much like.
Hey, that's Z-Man. All right, that's Z-Man.
Right?
Yeah,
let me tell you right now is that Superman is like pornography. I can't describe it to you, but I know it when I see it. It's fucking Superman.
Do you really though? I mean, like when you were watching Showtime as a kid and changing the channel up to channel.
I think 3, I see a titty. I think I see a titty.
Elbow, and you're like, I think that's an elbow. No,
if I can imagine a nipple on the end of that elbow. Then
but you don't know if it's a man's elbow or a woman's elbow. There could be a dog in play. I mean, it's all.
Look, as long as the scrambled footage comes
which
down,
which Cinemax After Dark were you watching, Bob? I don't remember.
I don't know. It was all.
That's a joke for those 30 and up crowd who remember the scrambled television station.
Yeah, that's old school now. But I love the way he starts this book off with the quotes, right? And
I was confused.
Maybe
I'm out of practice reading for a while, but
so do you know what Seduction of the Innocent is? The book that Frederick Wortham wrote to basically that influenced Congress to make sure that we have
those quotes. Yeah, I got those quotes. I thought you meant news snippets. Yeah.
No. That just kind of was like just showing everything in a different way and letting you kind of. I like the way that it drove you through the page and snaked around to get you to the bottom. I like the way that it drove my eyes through the page, but I really love the quote. It says, "The world of comic books is the world of the strong, the ruthless, the bluffer, shrewd deceiver, the torturer, and thief. In comic books, life is worth nothing. There is no dignity of a human being." Mm-hmm. And then Todd McFarlane quote, "Kids love chains."
Yeah.
I just want to say I agree with Frederick Wortham, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah, I know. I agree with him too, and that's why comics are for me, and they're for you and for everybody.
He forgot about the big boobs on covers in the 90s.
Right.
Hey,
big guns,
he was mad about that too. I love all the Wortham tie-ins that he did too. In the beginning, he starts off in the comic shop, right? Or not. We talked about where it starts off. Drew was just talking about that, but directly following that, takes it to the comic shop. The guy's wearing a Wortham shirt. One of the
Wortham was right.
Yeah, it says Wortham was right. He's wearing a Wortham shirt, and then they kind of talk about burning comic books and all that was going on during the hearings. So he brought that back in. I thought that was great. That right there hooked me in the book. I was like, all right, I can get with this. So
what do you guys think?
He said Marvel and DC died when Colorado died. Catch up. It's like, yeah, he only wants the dollar issues right now that are like littering every comic shop because they were all burned. And it's like, but now if you can find a dollar Avengers issue from the 80s, it's got to be like freaking gold.
Yeah.
I love that. Let's just start burning comic books.
What about him sitting on Rawhide Kid? What's up with that? He's like, nobody wants this garbage, Rawhide Kid.
Because he says they're all government approved and mandated corporate comics, and apparently they're all like after the heroes showed up and were real, and they burned all those comics. They're like, well, let's just go back to doing crime stories and cowboy books.
Right.
By the way, the art of that guy, of that comic store guy that we're talking about, is when I realized, oh, I really love the art in this book. His facial expressions,
they're great. I know that guy.
Yeah, every little piece of that I loved, and it made me look at the art a lot closer and than I enjoyed. I even enjoyed the first pages where I thought I wasn't going to like the art much more.
What do they call it when they put the old style of the dot matrix for
the Ben-Day dots, which I normally despise, but it's
but it was used perfectly here. I mean, absolutely.
It lets you know that little girl came from the comic book world.
It was amazing.
You guys like John Goodman?
Yeah, fantastic.
I thought that too.
I really hope that they don't stick with that theme of bashing religion and all that stuff. And it's not that I feel so strongly one way or the other, but it's just that it's lazy. It's a very lazy villain. Like, oh well, we're doing something different.
I don't
We're
think
being
it's
aggressive, so let's bash on the religious folks. It just makes them an easy villain. That they're
it's gonna be like the zombies in Walking Dead. It's always gonna be there. It's never gonna be it's not gonna be the main villain. Maybe in the first arc, but he won't. Yeah, there's something
you know
else
what?
going on.
That's a standard kind of Donny Cates villain, though. Like
Is
when
it?
you look at it that way, yeah. Because when Donny grew up in Texas, right? And you know, he's definitely an alternative guy with an alternative way of seeing the world. Not a straight up, you know, Texas redneck kind of guy. He is definitely the other in that scenario.
So
I think he's using
quarterback.
I think he's using the villain he knows. You know what I mean? And I think that he's I don't think he's going to paint the picture that way, because they also say that the kid Ryan Lowe, who the preacher, basically. Is it his son or is it? It's just
yeah. Okay.
And he abuses him. He has a black eye.
Yeah. He's being forced to be the one that throws a Molotov cocktail into a comic shop labeled the last comic shop on Earth, the last comic shop alive. Yeah. So I think we're going to see.
Story, Drew. It's a love story.
Right.
His fire is burning bright. He just doesn't know where to direct it yet.
Right. And I think that we're going to see him rebel against his situation. But we're also going to see his situation inform his view through this thing. And I think that that's going to drive our characters through this adventure. But I think the biggest thing about this adventure is like they find out that this little girl who's from the comic book reality, that her parents are still inside that bubble, and that our character, Ellie or Ellipses, which I think is the coolest fucking name ever.
Yeah, that's cool. I did so well with that.
Yeah, I love how the cover uses that too. The 3 dots.
Right?
One,
I
two,
love
three.
the way that works.
Yeah,
dude, it's just this thing's just really well put together, really well produced. I feel like they have all their ducks in a row. I feel it's a great #1 issue, and that the hook, while kind of cheesy, I think we already discussed it. Like there is somebody who is.
I didn't view it cheesy. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I think that I'm very concerned as to how they're going to be able to move forward with this.
I was going to say, what did you guys'
predictions?
First, I do want to say, like the quote, shows I think the dichotomy to Kate's writing and what he does here. You have the seriousness of comics, but then you have the free, wholesome things flying through the air, smashing toys together, kind of shit. So I think we're going to see both of that, and he's going to use the love story to bring in part of that emotion and feel. My prediction for where this is going to go is you're going to have the comic store girl going to the land to help the girl out with her new boyfriend, the preacher's son, whatever, and they're both going to get superpowers, and that's how it's going to be.
Well, spoiler alert!
I don't think you're going to see. I don't think you're a lot. I don't think you can show it. I don't think you're going to see a lot of that inside that bubble.
I don't think so either. I think you're going to see everything from outside the. I don't think our perspective will go inside the bubble very much at all, if at all.
I think the kind of skewed reality perspective. Go ahead.
You might get some cool guest stars, like Savage Dragon might show up in issue 7 or something like that. You know what I mean? Just because they can do that with the Image characters a little bit easier. But I don't like. I think it's not. I think there's something that we don't even know that's going on here. And Donny Cates is actually pretty good at that. Mm-hmm. Like I can always find like the perception of Donny Cates and then, the people that are actually reading it. So the one I always point out is everyone thinks that Noel is just like this generic, gothic bad guy, but Venom is really about him and Dylan, right? Like I think I said that last week. So, I mean, he's actually a good writer in that sense. It's not going to be the obvious thing. Like, and I'm not saying he's a great writer or anything like that, but I'm saying like he's creative enough that it's fun. And I think we all agree, like for me, I normally give a lot of leeway for issue #1. And this is the most enjoyable issue #1, especially of an Image comic that I've read in a long time.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah. I put this up there with Black Hammer #1
as an issue 1.
As an issue #1. And the one thing I'll say is like, you guys didn't really care for this art so much as it came in, but like, that's the layout. That's the freaking tick right there.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I thought too. That's what I thought too.
Definitely the tick. And the thing is, you're getting kind of a skewed perspective because like these heroes in the background could be anybody, right? Yeah. They're kind of just generic enough that they could be anybody, but like them when you see them. And And I think that the way that they kind of put those together that way was kind of ingenious. You're getting this big action, and you're getting like a taste of all of these heroes, but at the same time, they're not technically those heroes. I dig it. I think that's really good. I think that the way that it ties in the comic book tropes and the beauty of the, you know, the comic shops still being, you know, the last bastion for these nerds.
I tell you,
I love that. I love that.
When I saw the comic shop first, I was thinking, well, I already know this is a work of fiction because I haven't seen a comic shop that packed with people in forever.
Like there was only one.
Adults, of all ages, people were just mobbed in there. I was like, well, this can't be real. And then when they explained it, I was like, okay, all right, I'll give it to you.
Yeah. Unless it was Wednesday morning and some hot 1 in 50 variants were on the shelf.
Yeah,
that's the only comic
day last
Don't
year.
worry, they don't let me in.
Comic book day. The thing I really liked about this issue is that I feel like it can go in so many different directions.
That's what I'm worried about.
I wouldn't be disappointed in any of them.
I will be. If it goes like 30 something issues, there's no way that it's got 3 good story arcs in it. This is the arc. After that, I don't know that I want to read it.
This is the world. I think
you're just making it up right now. You could do 1,000 things in that world.
I'll say, would you read like a series if like, say this is issue 1, all of a sudden like, oh, hey, guess what? There's 3 issue 2s. And you have like your Marvel, DC, and like Image Universe things, and like you can do different paths. Would you read a story and be like, you know what, I want to buy 3 issues of all of them? Or are you going to be like, no, I want to pick one or just stop?
I would. It goes back to what we almost talked about, the DC Universe individual. Like that's a new idea. Like, if it's a new idea, I'm there.
Yeah,
we almost did. If it's a new idea, I'm there. Because you know what? I could just stop, or I could think it's dumb. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm always there. You know, when
it's a new take on the choose your own adventure.
At that point, I'd be waiting for trades, and I wouldn't.
I'd be waiting for 3 different trades. And then the issue 3 comes out, and there's a path for each issue 2 that you bought. So there's 9 issue 3s. Like, holy shit, they're figuring out a way to actually make money in comics these days.
I'm telling you, like
there's an Acclaim Comics version of crossover.
I quit.
There's a
dude. Well, it's like
90s,
the Clue book did that. It wasn't that widespread, but the Clue book, the from IDW, if you bought the variant covers, the last little bit of the story, the little backup in the back, was different for each variant cover.
Oh, wow.
So there's a reason to pick up the variant covers to kind of unravel the mystery. I don't know if that book's still going, but
no, Clue's not.
But
that's
the
good.
First
though.
issue was fun.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's terrible and good, but I mean, at least there's something different than just the cover.
Right.
Yeah, it's terrible too, though, because if you're like trying to solve the mystery, it's going to cost you an extra $12 a week.
It's $12 to play an augmented or a reality game where you're hunting down clues in the back of comic books. Sounds like a lot of work.
You guys want to see some Wortham crap?
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to turn off my camera so you don't have to see me walk around in my underwear.
Cool. While you do that, we're going to start talking about DC.
Oh,
want to start figuring it out. Chaos. Now, I asked you earlier. Let's get back into it.
Stop that.
Never mind. He interrupted you again.
Fuck
Jason. Jason went to go pee.
I don't know what Jason went to do. He
doesn't want to do cocaine on the camera.
He's probably just smoking a bowl.
So before Dr. Wortham published his Seduction of the Innocent, he premised that he previewed it, if you will, and took excerpts out and did essays. And this is his first attempt to bring his message into the home, and he did it through the women, through the mothers. So this is from November 1953, his Ladies' Home Journal.
Oh, that's cool.
It's big, it's heavy, so I got it in a little frame here. And it says, do comics create child criminals? What parents don't know, I know, right? What parents don't know about comic books by Frederick Wortham. And then, of course, inside it's got pages and pages. Pretty long article. It's like 17 pages or so. With pictures of kids reading comics and, the dangerous parts of comics. They have excerpts in here showing some of the terrible things that were in the comics. So it's pretty graphic. And And so this went out to the moms to prime them up before he dropped his book. And in fact, if you have a copy of Seduction of the Innocent, it references this journal. It says, as previously seen, some parts previously published in Ladies Home Journal 53. So November 53.
What's that go for?
If you can find one.
Yeah.
I've had two. This was my up copy, and I sold the other one to a collector. At least 100 if you can find one. And you're usually finding someone who doesn't know anything about it, but they're selling old paper products. Mm-hmm. So when you see, what it is, Ladies Home Journal number 53, that's, I used to go through yard sales over, and I used to scour for this book forever. And then one day it popped up on eBay on a saved search, and I jumped all over it. Then I got it. And then this was my second book. The first book came in, I paid I think 50 or 60 for it. And it was real ragged. I mean, it was beat up. And then this book came available on eBay also. I bought it, and the guy shipped it in a manila envelope and crushed the corner. It was a perfect pictures. Crushed the corner of it, messed up the spine on the top corner. I pressed it a little bit, but I didn't want to. I was real ginger with it. And so anyway, I sent pictures to the guy. I was really pissed. I had paid $50 for that one as well. So I had about $100 in it, right? In both books. And the guy gave me a full refund. So then I sold my other book for $100. And so basically I had this for free and I pocketed $50. So life works out sometimes,
Yeah, you got to play the long game, bro.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought you guys might like that.
Piece of history. That's something old that I'd actually want if I saw it.
It's pretty cool. That's all. DC time, I'm sure.
Yeah, DC time. Bubs, we were talking earlier. DC is rumored, this is just a rumor at this point, to be going away from a shared universe of continuity post Future State. There are some compelling sources that are spreading this rumor, and there are also some shady sources that seem to be propagating this rumor throughout the internet as well. I'm pretty sure it's going to end up when we got this covered at some point. So, the source that I had originally was Screen Rant, had a source Bleeding Cool and Rich Johnston, who had a source within DC. He was saying they will be publishing kind of here's this, DC Rebirth #1 or Flashpoint #1 or whatever the hell they're going to do to kind of set up this new kind of loose universe, loosey-goosey. But Chaos,
the old Punchline universe.
Right? Chaos, let's go ahead and get your take. What do you think would be the pluses, the minuses of this deal? And do you think it's a good idea?
I like, I'll do it real quick before Bub has something else to say. Hey, I like the idea. I'm fine with it. I do like shared universes. Like, they're fun that they can cross over and whatnot, but it's something new. You could do something different. And it turns out that's all I have to say about it.
That's all I have to say about that.
No, I mean, that's
that is a lot of build up and suspense.
Yep. It's sort of like Bub's wedding night to his wife. Just quick, done.
I just had the preacher in the ceremony, all in the wedding suite. We didn't take any. No sense in wasting any time. I just had him turn around.
Preacher stayed there too. It was pretty crazy.
Somebody had to witness.
Absolutely, yeah. Make sure it happened.
But yeah, I mean, I like the shared universes too, but it's something different and nothing's permanent. What I would like even better is if it was some of these characters were in their own universe, but some of the bigger characters were still there. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a separate universe, but Batman's still in Gotham. He can still go visit Batman. Do you know what I mean? That changes, like, if aliens come or something. Obviously, Hawkman would call his buddy Superman. But
now my question to you on that is, you also mentioned earlier, before you were so rudely interrupted by our second special guest, which I propagated that. I was very happy to interrupt you with him. Hawkman can now have earth-shattering events in Hawkman. Do you think, do you honestly in your heart of hearts think that they're going to be publishing Hawkman books with this new universe? You think it's just going to be like 8 versions of the Joker and 45 Batmans and 3 Harley Quinns and like the occasional Wonder Woman book when her movie drops? You know,
that's the better question. The better question is, are the 16 Batman books going to be 16 individual universes?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Hawkman will be out. Like, people enjoyed this Hawkman run. Hawkman's like one of them that's on the edge, but they're gonna let a bunch of them.
Probably the greatest run.
Didn't they cancel it once already?
No, there's the Venditti run. I think it's just ending now because all this new stuff is happening.
A bunch of stuff's ending.
But
Yeah, I mean,
but I
they're
thought when
canceling
COVID
Teen
happened, they were
Titans and
gonna move
Suicide
it.
Squad and all that
Weren't
too.
they gonna move
a lot of those
it to
books are
digital, though?
coming back.
Wasn't it on the chopping block to be moved to digital only?
I think that was Marvel stuff.
No.
I think
Oh,
was
okay.
happening.
Marvel
during
is
that
mostly
time.
the digital.
Yeah,
But DC does have digital only stuff, but it was always meant to be digital.
Right.
I mean,
Venditti Hawkman, though, I want to say is probably one of the greatest runs of Hawkman ever written. Just he really
I made it
consolidated all of like the past history and weird things and alternate lives and condensed them and figured out his path and his way through all those past stories to make sense. He wrote a through line through all of them, and which just takes a lot of time and talent.
Look, I'm not reading it, and he's not a character I care for, so I'm also not going to take the time to shit on it. And I let's just go ahead and submit for a review of the board that Hawkman is a great book, right? Let's just go ahead. I concede that it's fantastic. It might be the best Hawkman book of all time, but when you look at sales charts, it's Batman, everything else in the industry, and then DC at the bottom, right? It's like Superman doesn't sell what Superman should sell. Hawkman obviously isn't selling the numbers, isn't moving the units that they want to move units, right? Or they wouldn't go back to the well of Batman every single time that there's a chance for them to put out a black label book.
Right, like Harley Quinn is probably selling more comics than Venditti, you know.
Right, and my question would be is if they're going to this, you know, anybody can do what they want. It's going to open up the floor for more creators to be more creative. I think with the same time, what they're doing is they're saying, okay, well, we can move 3 books this month. They're all going to be Batman books, but don't worry, they're all different Batman, right? You don't have to worry about where they fit in with each other.
Oh,
I don't know what this.
That's the worst case scenario.
With this Penguin Publishing deal, they're definitely moving more towards digital. They're moving more towards collected stories. They're moving more towards the black label and the non-continuity stuff. But when you look at all that stuff that they've put out recently, it's all Batman. It's all Joker. It's all Gotham.
But you're right about that. You're right about that. It doesn't mean there's not a spot in the market for a book that sells decent enough. You know what I mean? You're right about the Batman stuff. That's for sure.
Right.
But
what I'm saying,
put down a lot of books out, and so you can have Coca-Cola on the shelf. There's still a little section for RC Cola. You know what I mean? Everyone knows RC Cola is not going to sell as well as Coca-Cola.
Right. Well, I agree. But using your soda analogy. Well, we're going to use the soda analogy. Batman's Coca-Cola
when it started.
Right? Batman's Coca-Cola, right? Hawkman is like sun-kissed orange, right? But all this YA stuff that they're putting out is the new Ahas, which they're just flavored seltzers. With all the new flavors of flavored seltzers, there ain't no sun-kissed orange on the shelf anymore. It's Coke,
Let the
it's
record show
Pepsi,
that
or it's the fucking flavored seltzer.
And Drew's making no fucking sense.
It was close on both.
I am bringing a camera to the grocery store. We will have footage next week of what the fuck I'm talking about.
Here's
just bring like little stickers. You go, listen, Chaos. This is Batman. Just put a sticker on it. Your handwriting. This is Hawkman.
These LaCroix over here. Cool. This is future state.
What's the hit soda? Mountain Dew Code Red. This is Harley Quinn.
I was looking for a return back to when I read that. I was excited because I thought it was going to be a return back to some more separated cellular type stories. I love the Flash. As soon as Superman shows up in a Flash book, I don't need the Flash anymore. What a waste. He's got one of the powers of Superman. Who needs him? You know? So I think that when you bring in other superheroes, it waters down the main title character unless he's as great as those heroes. I don't need obviously 16 Joker books, Harley Quinn books, or any of those other crap. To me, they should put all that under Detective Comics. You're going to put out Detective Comics. If you want to make it a weekly book, go ahead. Then you can fit 4, sometimes more per month. You can fit that in a weekly book. You can do your Harley stories in there, your Joker stories. You can do whatever you want in the Detective Comics.
Yeah.
And then Batman.
But that sounds terrible for making money. Like that's the way you want it, but that's not the way that you're going to make money. You need to have.
But if the way that they're trying to make money is to size down the number of titles that they have, then that helps them to do that. If that's what they're
I agree, because I had like this idea about what they should be doing with Superman right now, and like I think that Superman should be its own title and it should tie into Action Comics, but Superman should not be in Action Comics, right? Action Comics should be, here's a Lois Lane story, here's a Jimmy Olsen story, here's a Supergirl story, here's a Superboy story, here's a a Super Sun story. Like, give me those little bites, right? And if one of those
kill that whole line,
but if one of those books, like if one of those stories catches on, then you give it its own series. You got to test these things out because, well, I mean,
put it on digital.
That's how the old action worked, though. Yeah, you're right.
Right. That's. I mean, that turned into Superman Family, and I think that those are all quality ideas that you can use to service these underutilized characters. And like I mean, you say that there's still a spot on the shelf for a Hawkman book, and I agree in theory. I just don't think that when they're selling Batman books hand over fist in the methods that they plan on using to open this up to allow creative storytelling is what they're saying. Like, every guy who comes to work at DC wants to write a Batman book. So that's how they're going to collect these creators, is they're going to say, okay, yeah, come here and we'll let you do what you want to do. And well, what I want to do is write a Batman book, and I want to kill Alfred. Well, I want to bring Alfred back from the dead. Well, I want to make Alfred an underwater sea monster. Like, okay, you can do that. And I think, but at the end of the day,
only so much room for Batman books. So there's still
DC has proven that is not true.
There's a solution to all this.
Who wants that?
They've had this before. Like,
I feel like that's the way they make their money.
They had a series called Batman Legends of the Dark Knight.
That's 100% true. They do make money through Batman only.
They do mainly make most of their money off of Batman. But there was a series called Batman Legends of the Dark Knight, and all it was is that serves pretty much what Black Label does. Whatever, there's one and done stories, sometimes 3 or 4 issues long, short runs, but they're all by different artists and different writers that stayed under the title Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. And it's awesome because it was like a trade machine. You know, you have these different artists and writers who write like a whole entire trade for you. Boom, you have a whole entire like trade there, Holy Grail or whatever. Like, you know. There's, I forget what other storylines. So there was like a Grant Morrison one, Mike Mignola one. There's a bunch of other great like notoriety ones. You know,
sounds like something Bub would like, where it's one issue.
I think what this is like lazy.
I also like it because they're in quarter bins right now.
Right? Yeah, totally. Yeah, they're awesome too. They're great. But like it sucks that like that this is happening. You know, I'm really bummed because I think it's really lazy. It's hard. I think it's lazy to mess up your continuity in the first place, much less like not that hard to have a continuity. And
it's pretty hard to have a continuity.
If you needed to have to get rid of it, like you have other avenues. You don't have to make your whole entire publishing line as not in continuity. Right. I think the main reason they're choosing to go this way is because Tom King has a lot of pull. Tom King hates continuity because he says Jack Kirby hated continuity. And
that's simply not true.
I think that's his excuse to not keep track of his own story writing. So
right. Well, Jack Kirby hated continuity because he made so much of it that he had to keep track of it. I mean, you're talking about a guy who made his bones on setting up the continuity of universes, and once it got to the point where like he had so many stories going at the same time, of course he hated it. You're juggling too many apples, you know. Just get a bag, but carry them home like a normal person.
Let's talk logistics for just a minute. So let's say the best case scenario of what DC is hoping for is what happens. So not the crap we've been talking about, right? Which is fucking pandemonium and babies crying and naked giraffes running in the streets, right? We're talking about
I'd be more upset with giraffes with pants on. What the hell? Who the hell gave this giraffe pants?
even better. Denver
Or a turtleneck.
blows up and giraffes are running with pants.
How do you size
So-
them? Up to like the hips or like
Yeah,
the front?
all the,
The
way,
half?
no, all the way up to the neck. What are you talking about, man? They got
All the way up
arms
to the giraffe nips.
So four legs.
right
Four
up
legs covered
with
in
a bow
pants or
tie
two
on
legs?
the fourth dot. Yeah.
Is the back two legs are covered? Or all four legs are covered in pants.
Oh, and the tail sticking out. We'll give room for that.
Just a belt
But listen,
around the neck.
Best case scenario
Oh,
is
David
Best
Carradine
case
style.
scenario, DC, everything's working. How do you start it? Do you do a reboot? Do you do a new 52? Only now you call it the
A
new
reboot.
12. How
no, it
do
would
you
reboot
stop?
after Future State. It would reboot whatever happens in
Yeah, but
Future
Future
State.
State isn't a real. Future
That's what I'm
State is not
saying.
a starting point. It may be a time that they're going to say, okay, in publishing
A space
world,
filler. A space
Yeah.
filler. Yeah.
but it's not the reboot.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
vanishing
just-
point.
A
What
point.
happens after Future State, I think, is whatever happens to end Future State is probably going to be the catalyst for
You're
this.
talking
I
about a
imagine.
cataclysmic event. That
No, I don't
rocks
think they're
the
going to do
entire
another
thing?
crisis.
The metal
men
is a
can't
crisis.
take-
So how do you
Modern-
do it? How do
Modern
you
men
do it?
can't take reading another crisis series.
God.
And DC,
Um,
DC
eventually we're
fans
gonna have
love
to read
reboots. They take one
Doomsday
every
Clock.
4 years. They love it.
Well, I mean, that's why you pay, but that's why you're paying DC. Who knows how they're going to do it? And then you pay them, and like you read the stories. You know, I like what you said though. Where I thought you were going when you go, "What's the best case situation?" The best case situation for DC is that they are because writers are freed up without the continuity.
Mhm.
They're able to write, 5 Immortal Hulks. Immortal Hulk is almost out of continuity, right? Like it's doing its own
Oh.
thing basically, even though it appears in other books. But Immortal Hulk, something that just came out of nowhere, is high quality writing, and it's excited people about Hulk like it's never done before. And that's what DC's trying to do. That would be their best case. That independent of what Jason says. The fact is, though, that if a bunch of good books come out, even though he thinks it's lazy, right? But if it turns out he's got 5 Immortal Hulks or Immortal Hulks that are just really good books, he goes, I think it's lazy, but these 3 books are really good. I can't really stop reading them. You know what I mean? That's their best case scenario. Whether it'll work or not, who knows? But at the end of the day, just always remember, like, they can go back to the shared continuity, and it just takes one crisis event. They can always
True.
jump back over to it.
Yeah,
And I think that's where they're going with.
the first place, though. It's like they could have had those one and done stories implanted in Detective Comics, implanted in Black Label. They could have do that already. Like, it sucks that they're like, oh, guess what? Everyone just fuck it. We need stories. We need stories. Everyone pandemic. Everyone just write a story. I don't give a shit if it connects. Guarantee that's what happens.
Well, I just think at the same time, best case scenario for this, and I understand why they would do it. As a continuity heavy comic fan, as a longtime reader, I hate it. I think it's a terrible idea. But I think that gives you the opportunity to cultivate new readers, to get you a new reader on an Aquaman book who doesn't have to worry about what kind of beef Aquaman has with Wonder Woman in what other story. I think that it gives you the opportunity to bring in a Batman or a Joker fan who watched Joker the movie, liked Joaquin Phoenix, and wants to figure out a comic book universe where he can understand things. Joker War is not for him, right? But the Joker book from Azzarello is for him. So that's the kind of thing that you can get a newbie into, or someone who's not used to following these continuities. I think that you've got a crisis going on right now, right? Metal's going to end, and then we're
Thank
getting
God.
Future State. Well, there's positives and there's negatives to it.
Well,
But
I'm glad it's going because I don't care anything. No offense to the metalheads out there. I know Chaos Big Metal.
Mhm.
He's a heavy, big, like the stuff make your ears bleed kind of metal. He loves that shit. And let me tell you, I can't stand it. I don't like the culture of it. None of it appeals to me in any way. So when you see it cross 40 books on the shelves and it goes on for 4 months,
Death metal.
I'm like, I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
so done with
This
it.
was not crossing over. It's its own like little side thing. Like, say if it was like War of the Worlds or War of the Realms, and then it crossed over everything, then I'd probably have a problem with it. But it's like, this is just its own little contained thing that pretty much still is in
It's kind of
continuity.
out
though.
of containment at this point, though.
Right.
It's
I mean,
all over the place.
I mean,
It spills over
there are
everywhere.
so many one shots now that are like required reading.
they are.
That
They're
this
all- they're all
8-issue
required.
series is now
Yeah.
a 48 issue series.
It's too bloated. It's too big. They
You know
got
what?
hit and they don't know how to get off. They
I
just
think it-
ride it till it's damn.
That's the
hard.
timing problem in general.
I think that you're finding that in a lot of big events. But let's go ahead and move on from this on to another big event that I know Chaos is way into and I'm into. And that is going to be 22 issues of amazingness. And that's Ten of Swords. 10 of Swords. Oh, man. You get to figure out all of Apocalypse's baby mama drama.
I popped them lips.
Yeah. And this is like kind of the retelling of all the fragments that you've gotten of all of this story so far. And put together in the right order for you to really know what's going on with it.
Yeah, the art is great in here.
Digging it. So good.
Let me just say right now,
I do like some metal books. I do like some metal books.
There you go.
Cave One, Metal Age #1, but it has to be just right. But go on. Yeah.
Let me say cross hatching turns me on, and it just doesn't happen enough in modern books. So I love this cover.
Nice.
Is that a crosshatch cover?
Yeah.
Who did it?
A lot of crosshatch on it.
Linnell Francis Yu.
Yeah.
Man,
not quite.
Have you gotten into Frank Cho's crosshatch work?
I've seen it. I don't know it.
Oh man, I got a treat for you. Wait,
Yes,
hold on.
ladies,
I'm not wearing any pants.
I dig everything about X-Men 14. I think that it's pretty much a flawless issue. I think the only drawback I would say is that they've recycled a lot of this material in the other books kind of leading up to it. But I love the way Hickman does that. I love the way he did it in House and Powers. And I love the way he's doing that throughout the Ten of Swords event.
Crosshatch.
Yeah.
Crosshatch time.
Ooh, hatching.
Yeah, nice, dude.
Frank Cho's Ballpoint Beauty.
Ballpoint Beauties.
Yeah, dude. Isn't there 2 volumes of that now, or is there only one? I thought
It's
there's
just
2.
one, but it is absolutely a crosshatcher's dream.
Yeah, he's amazing.
The entire book is nothing but crosshatch. Can't show
With a
you
pen.
that. Can't here. This one I can probably show.
There you go.
All with ballpoint, and then there's a colored in one.
Dude, that's
I
crazy.
mean, they're just amazing pieces of art. I love crosshatch.
Last time we were at
he walks you through the process and he shows you where he starts on the outer lines and then the crosshatch work inside. It's just amazing, man. That's
insane.
I saw him working on some of those like live. I think it was Baltimore Comic Con or C2E2. But I went for an autograph on a Harley Quinn cover of one of them that he did that I liked a lot. And his handler manager guy was also there. And he was trying to wrangle some independent prices for those ballpoint originals to some guy or two, yeah, dude, nice guy. His wrangler was awesome. He was cool with me. He was a jerk to everyone else. So that was awesome. But he's like, yeah. He's like, he'll sign this for you. Yeah, no problem. And we talked about his ballpoint work because I was a fan of his Instagram. He was showing this a long time ago. And so finally he made a book of it all. That's a great collection. I need to get that.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. That was a Kickstarter buy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. He has a bunch of YouTube videos. That's where I've seen him where he's doing it or explaining it. So and I'm not saying that it's and I'm not saying this work here is like Bernie Wrightson or anything like that either, but I just love it when I see it on a modern book because you don't see it anymore.
I agree.
Yeah, he's really taken his time putting these books together, and I think that kind of makes me forgive the fact that a lot of these are recycled pages. And
I had to relook, make sure that I didn't buy like a third printing because there were at least 6 recycled panels.
Right, but I think that the dialogue with them being different. No, it's so
from X-Men 13.
Yeah, X-Men 13, and also it was House and Powers, and also from the was it Creation book.
Oh, so the first book.
Right. So this story has kind of been told, and from was it X-Men 3?
A little bit.
So basically the story is about Krakoa and its sister island. They were cleaved in half, and like half of the original mutants of creation were stuck there, and Apocalypse and Krakoa ended up on this side of Otherworld. So
what did they call the sister island? Is it Krakahoa?
it's Araco.
Araco.
Krakoa and Krakahoa, yes.
All right, that makes sense.
She's always asking for money and shit. You're just like, God damn.
Absolutely.
Right?
And if you can't follow it, don't worry. Hickman put in a chart on page 17. Shows you exactly how the Krakahoa formed.
Right.
Plate
So,
tectonics and everything.
Right. So basically it was Powers 3 or Powers 4. They basically tell you the first origin story of how this happened. And it's a quick, like 2 pages. This is the way it was said. And then later on, the 2 islands, a piece of the island comes from the chasm or whatever, and they reconnect, and Summoner's there. And then you hear it in Summoner's words. And then in X-Men 13, you hear it in Apocalypse's words. And finally, in X-Men 14, you hear it from the perspective of his wife, who was left on the other side. So you're hearing the story being told from different perspectives. And when you finally get it, this last telling of it, you get the full picture of kind of what has happened. And so they did recycle some panels, and they recycled some of the story in here. But I think that finally getting the reveal of like everything from a well-rounded perspective, it kind of forgives a lot of that. And I like Yu's work in this. I think it's really good. I don't think it's like on like a RB Silva, Pepe Larraz level at this point, but I'm really enjoying it. And you can tell that he's taking his time and making it look good, which I'm really enjoying. And then we got.
Do you think like someone like a new reader could read that first issue of X of Swords, the creation or whatever, and then this issue and like be okay?
I would read everything.
Yeah. Right, I would too, but I'm saying like some
would
new guy off the shelf, you know.
I think if you're just reading the X-Men books, I feel like it works. Like if you're just reading 13 and 14, I feel like it doesn't jump that much where you're losing anything out of it. I think you're still getting that great Apocalypse story arc.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it loses a lot of what's going on around this conflict, which this conflict is kind of sub to what's going on in this book this week, which is not something you should pick up if you're not reading all of it. I would say Marauders is definitely like a Stasis Part 2, whereas this is definitely a continuation of X-Men 13. They're in the same fucking story though. Like it's the same exact story because you're getting, this is part 12 and this is part 13 of the bigger story. So this leads directly into this. But I think that with X of Swords Marauders 14, you're getting the meeting of the parties that will be dueling, right? And they're at this dinner party that Saturnine is running, and Mad Jim Jaspers is there. It's just it's absolutely crazy, and I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it for everybody. I talked about it earlier. Like Wolverine finally has enough, and he's like, you know what? This is going to be the big to do. You're going to watch everybody fight and everybody die, Saturnine. So how about I just go ahead and nip it in the bud? And this book ends with Wolverine just stabbing her through the chest, trying to get the cheat code for this Contest of Champions type deal that they're doing.
Was that Saturnine?
Yeah.
And
like I kind of hope she's dead, but they still can't stop it. Like that would kind of be cool. She's not dead. She's like too all powerful, but
she's been like the biggest problem maker out of everyone.
Dude, I love this story
all over the place.
I love this story so much. It's just there's a lot to it, and you kind of need to pick up every piece of it, but I freaking love it. I love that Hickman does these heavily plotted things where you need to pay attention to all the parts of the whole, and like the whole is more than the sum of its parts. But if you separate the whole from the parts still stand on their own. And I think that it's all really, really well mapped out.
Would a new reader be able to read that first issue, this new issue, and then the last issue of X of Swords? Because they have those little subtitles. You know,
The
what I mean? Not like-
creation,
Right.
creation stasis in the final.
Mhm.
I would doubt it. I think that honestly, it's a alpha and omega and a bridging the gap issue. And I think it just helps with the pacing of the whole thing.
Guys in the chat, Gore Vidal, what's up, dude? Always good to see you.
Yeah, man, I love that
Where's
Gore's
that?
here. Gore's always one of the best commenters in the community by far.
Oh yeah.
Always thoughtful, always has great recommendations, always votes for Hellblazer on the Modern Men poll, even though nobody else did. We're going to be
What's your
reading.
favorite Gore Vidal book, guys. Everyone. Mine is definitely Burr. Is the first one I read. Palimpsest. I also like, but I always mean to ask fake Gore Vidal if
I've
all
never
the
read a
rules-
Gore Vidal book. I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
Hey, he's not fake Gore Vidal. He's tribute Gore Vidal.
He's
Amish Gore
homage.
Vidal. You're right.
Yeah.
Amish Gore Vidal. I always mean to ask because he's met him and has read way more Gore Vidal than me. Oh, I also like his anti-war stuff from the early 90s, his pamphlets. I always mean to ask homage Gore Vidal if there's some weird shit that happens in his like memoir, Palimpsest. Even saying that word out loud sounds sort of gross. There's some weird shit that goes on. I always mean to ask homage Gore Vidal if that stuff is real or if he's just screwing with us. So we'll talk about that in another place. We'll talk about that on BookTube.
I like it.
I love Gore Vidal, the homage. I have never read Gore Vidal, the author. I've never. So
Yeah.
I'll have to put that on my to-do list.
Yeah, it's a shit. There's no pictures though.
That's fine. I can read books without pictures.
Dude, that was actually my plan of like.
I like to think that I'm very well read.
That was my
Well,
plan.
yeah.
Like, when
Well,
I
you
started
do
reading
love
comic books,
Hickman
I was
white
like,
pages.
dude.
Dude, I love info pages.
Sorry, Jason.
Me too. Same. I agree.
I also
Jason
like
was saying
books that are
something
in
about
other languages that I can only understand the pictures.
There you go. I call that porn.
Yeah, French porn to be more specific.
I know what they're what they're saying.
Yeah.
They're saying there's a lot of the carpet.
Oh,
Yeah, on the French porn. Yeah,
I love the way the French moan.
yeah.
Finger my pooper comes out the
We-
same in every language.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so we talked X-Men, we talked crossover, we talked DC. We've done a lot of talking, guys. Let's talk about what's coming out next week that we're excited about. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the screen share gimmick. I gotta load up this whole sheboygan right here. Does anybody know what they're looking forward to next week without checking these out?
No, I don't know.
I don't
I
know
already
what-
ordered it.
and I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I already ordered it, and then it shows up. I go, "Oh, that came cool."
Right.
I'm doing
Yeah,
some
you can-
massive hunting on Saturday. Saturday's my big hunt day.
All right,
I like
11,
to be surprised.
11.
I usually like to be surprised when I walk into the store. Like, I know how Kirkham's like, oh, we're not going to release our schedule to Diamond and then release it there. You're going to be surprised. I'm like, that's me every week. I don't read previews. I want to be surprised every week. So it's like.
Now that I'm reading digitally, I'm gonna not buy books on Wednesday, and then when I want to buy my homage books to the series I'm reading, I'll go pick them up I'll go out of town because the only comic shop that'll let me through the doors is about an hour away, and so I'll go there and pick up like the first Wolverine book, the Blood, the Black, White, and Sand.
That was good, man.
Oh,
That's
So
waiting
I
for
it.
really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, me too.
Black,
I
white,
forget
and
that.
sand, black, white, and red, blood, or whatever. It was fantastic. So I'm going to go out of town and pick one up, and then I'll continuously pick that book up in hard copy.
Mhm.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh man, you know how you were like, I thought Comic List was going away? It did.
Which one is?
Now it's Go Collect.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're not going to do that share screen gimmick.
Why?
I
What
don't know,
happened?
because the comiclist.com is now Go Collect, and
They bought it.
Do we
yeah.
not support Go Collect?
no, but it's just not the same list. Like you can't get the list; it's just what's coming out.
You can Google new comics the week of.
I am currently in the process of doing that.
That always that's the one I always use the first one that pops up. I forget what they're called, but
I think Chaos and Comics
taking a shit.
foldable chair broke. Yeah, could be taking the only dump.
On
big event.
air.
Yeah, he sends a text to his wife. It's finally happening. It's finally happening.
Splashing at you live.
Absolutely. I knew that beef was too tight. It's tight beef.
Uh-oh.
Shouldn't have taken it in.
They did Fresh Comics, right?
Hmm.
Is that one?
Comic lists.
This
Oh, there's a Beta Ray Bill homage.
Probably. There's all kinds of homages, man, every week. What do you
No,
want?
not an homage. I think it's a facsimile, but it might be a True Believers.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. I like
I
the
hate
True Believers
that.
too.
I like True Believers, but like I want a facsimile, not a True Believer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would much prefer that. And I don't mind to pay for the facsimile.
Yeah, no
I'd rather
doubt.
give $4 for a good facsimile than $1 for a true believer.
Yeah, amen. Jesus.
And the way they changed the titles really fucks with me because when I put it in my CLZ app, it loads in as that title, not where it should be in line.
Ah,
It's a real
that's
pain
the
in
way
the
it
ass.
goes. Okay, so we got Fresh Comics.
That's the
Vision
first book
2020.
I ever pressed and sold. That's the first book I ever pressed and sold.
There you go.
Nice.
All right, so this is what we got coming out. Champions number 2. Champions number 2 with a variant cover. We're getting Donna X Volume 10.
I know it's a loaded question, but can you make that bigger for me?
I will work on it. Mm.
All
Do
right.
that Doom feature.
Yeah.
Watch
While
last week.
Chaos grabs a banana and shoves it. There you go.
There we go.
I thought you I thought you needed a hand on the back of your head to eat that banana there.
He's been trained. He's been trained.
Is the aura gel kicking in?
Orange gel. Keep them dentures in. Damn, Bub's got
Wow.
comments. I love it, dude. That's why I invite Bub. That's why I invited Bub
Yes,
because
you
he's
got
the best smack talker in the game, man.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
that time of year for him to have that chloroseptic spray on this.
It's quick on his feet. Yo, you guys read any of that Champions Outlawed shit?
No.
Mm.
No.
I hear it's
you
okay
why.
if you like that stuff. If you like those characters, I hear it's good, but I don't care about that.
I liked Champions, right? I enjoyed Champions until the Awesome Hulk became Brawn, and I was like, fuck no. And then Champions number 1 Outlawed came out, and my buddy at the LCS was like, you want to try this Champions number 1? I said, that depends, bro. Is Brawn in it? And we flipped through it, and Braun was in at least one panel. And Braun has the distinction of being the one Marvel character right now who subscribes to the Constantine rule, which means no, I will not be buying that book.
True. I feel like you'd like Champions. I feel like that's like right up your alley. You know?
It could be right up my alley, but it's got Braun in it, and I'm not chancing it.
Dude, if I had extra time, all the time in the world, like, as people do most days, I would be reading that, but I do not.
Maybe I'll read it digitally when it hits that Marvel Unlimited app.
I feel like in today's politically and all that charged environment, then I'm a little hesitant to say just exactly how much I really dislike that Iron Man variant.
Oh yeah,
all those it looks like hot garbage.
I like the designs, but I'm not much
variants.
for the Iron Man.
Reggie, is that what the guy's called? Reggie?
I think it's a swing and a miss.
They're all terrible.
I think they're all terrible. But I feel like if I say that, someone's going to be like, well, you don't understand the importance of who's doing it and why. And I'm like, I'm just not going to give $3.99 for it. So you can do what you want.
Yeah, I think they look great. I think they just look completely different. They stick out.
I think they're boring. I think they look like a fucking McDonald's new intern ad. You know what I mean? Like, it's so bad. Like, I
definitely don't think
it's the McDonald's advertising for the local franchises in Arizona.
Yeah, dude. I hate that. That's it's like
you're not wrong.
It's almost like Shepherd Ferry Obey, but like less ornate and less good. You know what I mean?
That thing could be advertising.
I think that putting it next to this Alex Ross cover, it's doing it to the service.
Alex Ross just smacks the shit out of that. Get it out of here. Like, that's some 15-year-old art design school shit. Like, all those covers like that, I can't stand them, man. There's a Captain Marvel one also, I think, or a Thor one. They came out
like 10.
Big.
There's 10. There's a Spider-Man one that looks
we can't abide Captain Marvel having one because not only is it Indigents, it's Whammon as well. So we can't have that.
Whammon.
These are all true believers. King of Black Valkyrie, King of Black Panther, number 1. I like that we're getting a Black Panther first appearance reprint.
Yeah, but it won't even say Fantastic Four. It'll say Black Panther arrives or some crap at the top of it.
Yeah, and you know what? That's fine as long as people get the chance to actually read these classic stories, which I love about the True Believers. I really prefer when they do the homages because I like the original ads and I like
facsimiles, dude. Facsimiles.
Yeah,
on newsprint, you bastards.
Yeah,
dude, look at this Marauders cover with this spilled wine. That's pretty dope.
pretty cool. Yeah,
I dig that.
Look, there's your high concept art, Chris. Can't you appreciate that?
Yeah.
Which one?
Red
The one that sticks out.
Yeah,
that
the
one's
Dolly
cool.
cover.
I like that a
Also,
lot.
the Zombies Resurrection. These Inhook Lee covers have been really great. I dig those.
I like him. In Hyuk Lee, I like him.
Yeah. And this dude, this
goofy.
this Shavron cover is pretty dope too. I dig that. I like Rocket and Groot covers, so I'll probably end up picking that up.
That's cool.
Savage Avengers. I dropped that.
I did too. I haven't picked up in a while.
And now Juggernaut's on the team apparently, so maybe I gotta pick that up anyway.
It really didn't make sense from the beginning.
No,
it made no sense, but people liked it a lot.
I'd like Conan with Magic. That's pretty dope.
I sold my copy.
You got Chichetto over here. It's pretty dope. Arby Silva's killing it on these Star Wars covers, but I dropped Star Wars.
I'm trying to remember who was doing interiors in one of those, either Star Wars or Darth Vader. But I thought they were like pretty sick looking.
I think it's Dick Digglesworth.
Yeah. Darth Vader, I dropped that as well.
Yeah. I dropped all my Star Wars books.
Yeah, I was working on
Afro.
those, but I stopped last week. I cut buying those.
Strange Academy,
the colored ones.
Yeah, there's just too many. There's 36, and I was only like up to number 17, and I was like, I can't. The variant is killing me. I know. That's why I'm only halfway through. That's like saying, "What are you doing? It's Wednesday." Like,
you can always go back and try to get them at cons for cheap when they come back. You know,
I'm hoping so. And
they will be cheap later. They'll be cheap later.
I love this Strange Academy run. It's been really great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I only read issue 1.
Remote learning cover. I'll probably end up picking that up.
I didn't like it. I thought the art looked juvenile.
Yeah, I like issue. I mean, issue 1. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. I get it. I don't think I'm gonna pick it up.
It's not the art I like, but I get what they're doing.
I love the art, man. I think Humberto Ramos is absolutely killing it. I think that Scotty Young knows how to tell stories with young people, and I think it's really on point.
Well, then we won't say anything against that because
no, it's okay. You can disagree with me.
Who's doing Taskmaster?
Yeah,
somebody's ripping off Liefeld with one of these Faces and Bubbles covers.
You mean ripping off Tales from the Crypt?
Right. I can't wait for him to bitch about it on Twitter.
He does.
Is that number 1?
Yeah.
I'll probably read that one. I'm definitely gonna read that one.
I hope they give him credit, man. Marvel's so stupid for making him a waste character. They need to bring him back up to being like he should be like a Sabretooth level fighter.
Yeah, I like him. I liked him in Spencer's stuff where he was kind of this like just on the periphery of being like an elite guy, but always the butt of the joke because he was I loved him in that role because he was just like not willing to put himself in the line of duty. So he was always end up getting shit on like tangentially through Black Ant getting shit on, which was pretty cool. I love their team.
I don't like that version of him. He's a genius. He's a genius, and that's what they should leave him as. Taskmaster.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to remember if it was like I was reading Deadpool vs Punisher or Deadpool vs Carnage, but it was like Taskmaster. Taskmaster was like the villain in one of those, and he is like taking on both either Carnage and Deadpool or Punisher and Deadpool, and that was so fantastic. There's another one of those shitty covers. God damn it!
Spider-Sense variant.
God damn it!
Everybody,
Spider-Sense is tingling.
Defend this book, please.
What book?
I want to hear it.
He's upside down like a bug.
Oh, I was going to tell you that's the one that actually is good. I love this book. That's my favorite cover.
Thank you. We needed that
cover ever.
Holy cow!
You can cut it out and make a paper doll.
This Warhammer book just looks like a Cable variant.
Yeah,
but this is great. Kieran Gillen's writing this.
Okay.
He's writing.
Warhammer?
He's writing the new Warhammer book. He's like a game. He was originally a games journalist before he started writing comics.
Right.
So the first one is good.
But like if I don't like Warhammer, should I even bother?
So I don't know anything or like Warhammer, but I like Kieran Gillen, and he says he's writing it in a manner that people could get into it as a story. And you know what? The first one was super violent. It's weird because Kieran Gillen is like he's like the kind of writer that like Comicsgate would hate, kind of thing. and Warhammer is just like
what they want.
silly. Yeah, Warhammer is just silly, like violent to the extent of parody. Like there's genocide, in multiple genocides. So it's sort of like a weird dichotomy a little bit. But but he's played it his whole life. He loves it. And the first book was pretty good, 6-issue miniseries. I don't think it's going to be my favorite thing Kieran Gillen ever wrote.
That's Ludocrats, right?
Pretty cool. Huh?
That's Ludocrats, right?
Yeah, it was okay. I liked it okay.
All right, so let me ask you this, guys. Wolverine, right there. What number are we on? 7 or so?
Number 7.
Yeah.
Can I read that series? Can I go back to issue number 2? Because I only got through issue number 1. And I thought it was such dog shit. I refused to read anything more.
I also only read
everybody who was involved with that book.
Okay, here's what you do with the Wolverine stuff. If you didn't like that first issue, okay, skip ahead to the X of Swords tie-ins because they're very, very good.
No, Drew, you don't know who you're talking
reading
to.
The other ones, is it going to make any sense, or is it worth reading at all?
Yeah, because he kind of has his own separate little mission going on, and it's kind of fun. He goes and he fights the hand ninjas in hell, and finds the haunted soul of Muramasa. It's pretty cool.
I would give an 80% chance that Bubs would not like it.
That's fine.
I'm pretty sure. I think though, and I'm
this Nolan
Bubs
cover
has
is
bad
badass.
taste, so I think though, Bubs, you would have liked you started the Omega Red story that you didn't like in the number 1, and it continues in number 3 or 4. I think they pick it back up, maybe 4 and 5. And I think that as a whole, you would have liked that Omega Red story when it picked back up. But
I'll give it a shot. I'll go back to number 2. If I can read it without having to read all the other X of my ass.
Yeah, you certainly can.
Yeah, those you can.
Not going to lose me in between. Then
I would say Wolverine is the most standalone out of all of them.
Yeah, maybe Cable, but Wolverine or Cable are right there.
I have every other issue of every other volume of Wolverine right next to me right here. So I feel like I should probably give it another shot at least.
It definitely works better if you know the framing of the whole Dawn of X stuff, but it's just Wolverine having Wolverine adventures, really.
I read Powers of X and Powers of 10, so whatever. And what was the other one? Power of My Ex-Wife. What was it?
House of X and Powers of 10.
Yeah, I read both of those. So hopefully that'll give me
that gives you enough.
I already know they're in the drug dealing syndicate.
Right.
And Hickman likes flowcharts. So I'm ready.
We're getting an X-Men number 4 facsimile.
Oh shit.
So that's a must read right there. Now that we're done with comics, we can go see what else is coming out from other publishers. G.I. Joe, Goosebumps, if you care about that thing. Marvel Action Chillers.
I thought you said we were done with Marvel.
Look, Marvel also throws IDW a bone and publishes some comics through them.
Which is why they should do the Marvel DC crossover and just get the license from certain characters so there's no risk on Marvel DC's end. Just put it all on IDW and make that sweet, sweet crossover money.
Sheesh.
So far, it's looking like
we got Cardassians, or what?
Kim?
Deep Space Nine.
Hey, that was almost our best looking our best looking first lady ever. That almost happened, you guys. You messed it up.
Yeah.
Who?
It would have been Kanye's West's wife, right? Kim Kardashian.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I think Melania might be better than hers.
I think you're wrong there, but we can digress.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Melania.
Talk about little.
I am married to a
critters.
Polish girl, though, so I think I might like the Central Eastern.
I think Melania probably looks better, but I probably would have taken her 20 years ago more than today. And one of them's got a tape to prove her abilities. The other one doesn't. and one's got
subtitles. No, Melania's got some pictures out there.
She's probably got some tapes.
Yeah, I mean, plus Trump's described.
Hey there, Betty Page cleavage.
I don't think I'd want to be anywhere Trump's been like that.
This Pirello cover is pretty badass.
There might still be some coif wisps of hair all over the place.
that might be true. That would be
orange strands of yarn all over.
In fact, I'd probably realize it.
I'd probably realize it in the middle, and I'd be like, I just start gagging over.
What did I do?
Drew, I love those the Dynamite 2
Are you trying to change the subject? We're talking about.
We
Dynamite.
got Perillo covers here, man.
Man, that's fine. They look better
Oh,
on
that's
the
awesome.
computer screen. When you get
I
them in
bet they do.
person, they'll be all like so dingy and dull you can't see them.
I like the Lorraine cosplay cover.
They do look a lot better on the computer screen, that's for sure.
This, yeah, the Seuss homage is pretty dope. I dig that. The Peanuts homage is pretty dope. That's pretty awesome, man.
Mhm.
They got some good covers coming out. It's just like really too bad that you open the books and they're garbage. But with Shelby working on it, maybe it's worth reading. I don't know. This Death of Nancy Drew, I hear good things about it. But
I've heard
I don't know.
things,
I don't know anybody who's reading it.
Yeah.
Death of Nancy Drew.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Hardy
Could be a
Boys
one
tracking
shot.
down. Yeah,
Should
is
that
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 just
four or
be
five
one
issues?
shot, or is
This
it
is
the
a
prolonged
6-issue
portrait of
series.
Nancy Drew? Yeah, there's no reason
Yeah.
for that. If she died, it should take like a second to happen, right?
right.
Is she in coma or something? I mean, what the hell are we waiting for?
Ah,
Well,
who
Gold
knows?
Balls was there.
Just pull the plug.
Gold Balls was there. His name is Egg.
Alienated Volume 1. That's a good.
Right.
That's a good book.
We're
Is
getting
it?
a new Power Rangers. The
Yeah.
new Mighty
The
Morphin
art-
started this week.
On something like Alienated, Bub, at first you wouldn't like the art, but I think it grows on you. It's like detailed cartoony.
Okay.
Um,
I can do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'll check it out. I never liked Dune.
House Atreides
Overrated.
second printing already. That's the Boom Studios promises. We will give you a second printing.
Yeah. We're not going to print shit. But
I like these
cover
Power
Bub.
Rangers with like every Ranger cover.
You like them?
Dude, I'm a big fan of the Power Rangers comics, and it's just weird because I feel like the series kind of missed me as a kid. We get a Peach Momoko cover.
It looks like
pretty nice.
gumballs. Like that whole cover to me looks like somebody bashed
This
in
here?
a gumball machine with a bat, and it's all like flying at you, glass and all.
I kind of dig that kind of giant poster with like the Where's Waldo kind of style art. Because especially since there's so many costume variations, but they're all kind of so close to each other.
I bought the Mark
If that was
Bagley.
the Where's Waldo's book, it would have my $4.
I bought the Mark Bagley Every Mutant covers for all the issue
You're right.
number ones, and
Mhm.
I every time I pull out my Dawn of X books, I regret it so much that was the only versions of them I bought. Like
Oh wow!
I hate them now. I bought them all because Mark Bagley and Every Mutant. That's pretty cool, right? For the same reason.
I dig them.
So disappointed. Well, I would have dug them maybe if I had the other issue number ones, but I was trying not to. I still try not to buy that many variants.
You know, was it the Return or Hunt for Wolverine where they did those 4 separate series, and they did the Todd Knock did the the connecting covers. They were phenomenal. It's like another one of those every mutant ever or whatever.
Dude, I'm waiting for a trade for
We only find them when they're dead.
Yeah, I like that
Oh,
decal
man.
cover.
Dude, it's a great series. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it.
Is it
People
tied
keep
in?
raving about this Something's Killing the Children, and I could not get past issue
That's
1.
right.
Really?
I
read,
like
the first
it.
trade.
I like what's it called when they're dead? We can't.
know
find
yet.
it.
Yeah.
I like it better than Something's Killing the Children, which I'm glad you do too, Drew, because it's like a sin to say that in the YouTube comic community.
I think that there's a lot of pretentious assholes in the comic book community
I
who
also don't.
I thought I was
like to
becoming
jerk off
critical,
Tiny
so
in every chance they
This has
get.
been refreshing.
Well, I think it's more that they like horror, and I'm only okay with horror. But I
Yeah.
also don't think. But I also don't think this book is that great either. By the way, I just like it more than Something Is Killing the Children.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's so. I
Yo,
think it has
more
promise,
horror,
and I love the concept.
give you
I love
that.
the concept. Yeah.
So we're getting some more American Vampire. I dig these covers. The 76 cover right here. I dig that.
Snyder's
The
bringing
cover.
back his American Vampire.
Right. We got
Middle.
Dark Knight's Lobo book.
I heard that's hilarious. That Infinite Hour Extreme.
You know who told you that?
Hmm.
I told you that because
Show us.
don't tell anybody, but this doesn't come out the next week, and it's in my
Yeah, show me what made me laugh last time.
Don't tell anyone. He says on the internet.
I'm gonna be in trouble.
You're
Right.
supposed to read it? You're supposed to wait Wednesday to read it. Is that it?
Yeah, I mean it doesn't come out till next Tuesday.
Let's say you stole it.
Yeah, I stole it. I did. I stole it off a truck in Baltimore, where Diamond Distributing is, so it's believable.
Yeah.
So
Is that what
Lobo
Diamond
is
is?
fighting Bat.
Hey, did it come in damaged? Do you have to send it back and wait till next week to get a good copy?
Sure,
I
probably.
dare you to tear the cover live on air.
Here,
No, I'm not going to do that. I paid for
At
this.
least the top part, and then return the rest and get your money back.
So Lobo is fighting Bat Lobo, and he's like, "What is this now? Frazetta Batman?"
That's funny. I don't have to read it. It's funny.
Make that big.
You can't do that. I'll get arrested. And there's one more thing in here. He says, making me the multiverse's worst damn nightmare and the manliest of all men, the Batman who frags. So it's just a Lobo Dark Multiverse anthology. It's
Sounds
pretty
terrible.
dope.
I mean, yeah.
You should buy it if you like fun. If you don't like fun, I guess don't buy it. You don't.
I mean, Drew, if you like fun, you'd read more Constantine.
I like fun, so that's why I don't read Constantine.
I can't wait till DC with their non-continuity.
Look at this Raphael
brings
Grandpa cover.
A Psycho Pirate solo series, and then we cover it on this show.
The Psycho Pirate has not even been a Batman yet, so until he's the Batman who Psycho Pirates.
Hey, speaking of pirates, I did read that ye only men or ye only ye.
A man among ye.
Man among ye. And I went all the way back to the first issue to read it. So I go back to the first issue, I'm reading it, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is Black Sail shit. Remember the stars and Treasure Island? I'm like, oh, yeah, I know all this business is awesome.
Yeah, based on a true story.
Yeah, and then it starts getting to the end of the book, and it's got some little boy-girl thing, and I'm like, what is this? It's like, I don't remember any of that crap. And then I get to issue number 2, and it's all like girl power, and they're commandeering a ship, and there's nothing but a ragtag bunch of properly diversified women on from 3 different sizes and 6 different sexualities and 7 different nationalities. I'm like, what is going on here?
Hey, but variety is spice of life, man.
I was out. By the third one, I said, what a bunch of crap. I pitched it, man. Oh,
that's
man.
hilarious.
Dude, only Punchline can make.
Can we just change its name to the Comics Gate Core channel?
Yeah,
sure. My.
Look, only
memos in the mail. Watch.
Punchline can make a Frank Cho cover look like absolute dog trash.
Let me tell you something. Frank Cho, as much as I give him all the credit,
he always makes them like a little thicker.
This looks good to me.
It's not about her being thick. It's about her being ugly and about it not being rendered properly.
Well, he's been using this style a lot. With the verse, that's all ballpoint and the title.
No, I dig that. I just don't dig the character. I think she's terrible.
But he's been overdoing it. I can show you 3 more books that have that same red bottom, gray background, and medium-sized lady to show in the middle. I mean, he's
I'd be down for it if she looked good. She doesn't.
No, all of it looks bad.
Look, this Mikhail Hyanin cover is
on your screen now.
Again. He's great. He's one of the most underrated artists in comics today.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And he's on huge books.
I think that he's doing a good job, man. But I think that looks really good for his work. I'll be honest. I like some of the stuff he did in Batman with Tom King.
Great stuff in Batman.
I
don't think any of it was like a step above.
Drew, go back up to Bermejo cover. I really like Detective Comics Bermejo.
Bermejo.
What is Green Lantern?
Bermejo is terrible.
What does that mean?
Season 2 is the second part of Grant Morrison's run. So he did 12 issues of season 1. Then there's a 3-issue miniseries of Black Stars, and then he's on his season 2 of Green Lantern, and then he'll be done with his Green Lantern run.
Why is it called Seasons?
Because Grant Morrison
just called them seasons. Yeah, Grant Morrison does what he wants.
Hey, they just called them seasons.
All right.
Yeah, Grant Morrison does what he wants.
Grant Morrison does what they want.
Who's they? Are there multiple Grant Morrison?
No, that's Grant Morrison.
Shakespeare situation developing.
That was the news that came out today. Grant Morrison is non-binary.
I forgot about that.
Council of Grant Morrisons.
Yes.
How do you mean non-binary? Isn't he bipolar? Don't they go together?
No, they is bipolar.
Oh, whatever. I quit. Nobody wants his old gray ass anyway.
I thought that would be fun. But yeah, Grant Morrison came out as non-binary, so DC can claim representation.
I don't know why all these people keep coming out. Who wants them to come out? Just stay where you're at. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. Just stay there. Nobody cares.
Yeah, well, he wants you to know.
I guess.
This Tony Daniel cover, Superman 27, is beautiful, but there's no way I'm buying it.
I like Ivan Reis, though.
Yeah, but it's the story. I can't.
Daniel.
I can't, man.
What's the
Bendis Superman story?
Is that our Forever People facsimile?
No, it's Forever People by Jack Kirby. It's probably a collected edition.
If Inhyuk Lee draws one more pose of Flash, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Well, get
And
used to it because he's
Every
got at least
book.
2 more coming before the
Oh,
series is
God.
canceled.
Oh,
Why the Last Man
horrible.
Compendium's coming out.
That's dope.
Right,
Actually, I
we
have
got-
that. I have
This
that.
Forever
Middleton
People.
Wonder Woman might be
Hey.
better than the one you're touting right now.
No, I like the current one.
I don't know. That's
Forever
a pretty
People
sweet
homage.
cover.
It is pretty sweet, but it's no this,
Facsimile.
dude. You can't beat this.
What's it homage to?
Is it a facsimile?
I mean, not facsimile.
gonna try
Facsimile.
and pick
It's
that
either
book up
facsimile or
Saturday.
collected.
I'm going Saturday.
Yeah,
to
It
get
says
the-
not final cover, so I think that it might, and it says Forever People by Jack Kirby, so I think it might be a collected edition. Let's click and find out.
Let's not and say we did.
I hope it's
Look,
effective.
I already did.
Don't you have
Trade-
a real
trade
copy of it
paperback.
with you, or did none of the big
1 through
publishers-
11 on Forever People.
All right.
All
What
right,
else
and
we
we're getting Teen Titans Raven and Beast Boy.
Ooh,
Goes in a box.
get that YA shit out
Tammy
of my house.
Garcia. Look, put that YA shit into your house.
No, get the fuck
YA
out.
The Last Man.
Yen Press has got some
Oh, Lord.
some of this stuff happening.
Man, if you have to read that backwards, I'm out.
Yeah, I can barely read forwards. Oh, Star Wars Rebels.
Nice.
Yeah, I got the
Like
manga. I got the manga version of the Princess Leia book. That's interesting. I haven't read it yet. I'll
Is it
probably get
called
that
Warrior
Rebel book.
Princess? Because I'd buy that.
Oh, we got some slice of life stories happening here. Ryan Otley cover. That's pretty cool. I dig that.
Man,
Kick
that-
Ass versus
that
Hit Girl.
That new Kick Ass just did not. It was a flop, wasn't it?
I did not pay any
Nobody
attention
read
to it.
that.
So.
Yeah, I mean,
Ooh,
I didn't
that's a
read-
pretty. The Scalera cover is pretty cool.
Scalia?
Scalera.
Oh,
Anton.
Anton Scalera.
Oblivion Song 28. That's ending soon.
No better
Thank
volume
God.
6.
What a stinker.
That no better volume 6.
Oblivion
Is
Song.
that
The first
the,
volume was good.
the new
I
issue?
really enjoyed it.
Is it
Yeah.
the new issues?
Somewhere
1 through
around
5?
issues 12 or 13, it lost me. And I was
I
sick.
came back really strong on 25. Like,
Did it?
yeah. I'm enjoying what they're doing now. Like with this last story arc. So it
That's
seems
a
like
lot
it's
of in
going
between,
somewhere.
though, man. That's 10 issues of.
I enjoyed it all. I think that it had its ups
$50
and
of
downs.
suckage. You know,
Drew,
But
I
most
think
people,
it really
don't think,
sucks.
most people don't think that, bub. Most people have enjoyed Oblivion Song through. I
Who was
haven't
that-
read it,
was
so
that,
I can't say if I have.
I'm not concerned with what other people think when it comes to
Yeah.
the money I buy and the money I spend and the books I buy.
Drew, is that Nail Biter volume 6, the new issues 1 through 5?
I don't know.
Click it.
It's already on
Clicking.
volume 6.
It's one click. Jesus, Grandpa.
It's a
One
double
click.
click, my friend. It's a double click. No, this is 26 through 30.
Weird. Okay.
Oh, there's
So
that many nail
it's-
bite. There's that many. I thought
Oh,
it was
yeah,
one
yeah.
volume, and then there's the returns.
Yeah,
There
I-
should
No, there's
I've
a
read-
whole series and then the return.
Yeah, I've read
How
the
do you
whole
have a
series.
book
I've read
named
every
Nail Biter that you don't end at issue 20? You got 20 nails.
issue. Yeah,
Bite them all. It's over.
I've read
Well,
every
like
issue of
Spawn
Nail
is
Biter.
gone for 310 issues and it was over after issue 6.
Yo, I
That's
bought
not
the marked virgin cover, that Haberlin cover. There's a
Yeah.
virgin. There's a virgin cover of that. I got that coming. I pre-ordered that.
It's pretty
Stoked.
dope.
That's
I
sick.
think I bought-
Pretty dope.
I think I bought the first trade of Marked. So
Bill
we'll
and
see.
Ted Are Doomed coming out. Hellboy. We got some Hellboy.
I don't know. I'm thinking about starting on the Hellboy run. Just if it's going to have Adam Hughes. Is he doing the interior as well, isn't he?
No.
Oh,
Well,
I would hope not. Adam Hughes interiors are the worst thing that can happen to a book.
That's
No,
not true.
no. The only thing worse than Adam Hughes, well, Adam Hughes interiors aren't great. You know who's worse at interiors is Clayton Crane. Those are the
That's
worst.
true.
Yeah, the worst interiors I've ever seen is when Clayton Crane does them. He needs to just spend a week on a cover, not 3 weeks on interiors.
Dude, all these Iron
I'm getting
Maiden
all of
covers
these.
are awesome.
And
Well, I'm not.
Nintendo.
Well, I'm getting that.
Dude,
I'm getting,
the Nintendo cover is so great.
Yeah.
I'm getting that. But this,
Edition of
Heavy
Star
Metal?
Trek: The Search of Spock that will argue with your Adam Hughes comment all day.
I'm getting that Fishkill book. I'm all in on the heavy metal individual books for a while. The Iron Maiden ones, I'm getting covers that look cool. I don't need them though because they're just going to go in a box. So I should.
Have you been reading Fishkill?
Yeah, the first Fishkill was really good. I read the
Okay.
first one.
I know
and
it's
it was
Dan
pretty good.
Fogler, and I am not a fan of his.
I can see that. I can actually see that. So I don't think you'd like it.
Hmm.
Really, it's pretty like straightforward. Him.
Drew,
But,
I'm gonna invite him on one
Action
day.
figure variant is awesome.
yeah.
He's the only
I
one
love
who's
the Nintendo
actually
one.
on the blacklist page there. But
I'm gonna invite him on.
Oh, is he? What happened?
he
What's that
got
story?
JD Comics banned in New Zealand, so Kyle Walker can't watch his content anymore.
Oh,
That's a long fucking story.
Wow.
I missed that one.
Candy Kawaka's band.
No. We when we ran Mainframe Comic Con Part 2, there was. I'm gonna stop this.
Yeah, tell it.
Well, I'm done scrolling through the shit I'm not gonna buy, and we're not gonna talk about.
Yeah.
So during
Doing it,
Mainframe Comic Con, Dan Fogler wanted to do this Walking Dead dance party.
Where people would come in, ring a fake doorbell, and he'd answer this fake door, and then they'd invite the guest over, and the guest would have their own theme song, and they'd come and dance.
And it would be like, this girl who was in 3 episodes of The Walking Dead in the season that nobody watched would go, yay, while some copyrighted music played. So we're like, okay, well, they want to have a bunch of people on screen. We'll have to do it through Zoom.
Like
Can't do it through
people.
StreamYard. We need to figure out a way that we do this. So like if we get copyright strikes, so it won't bug us at all. And I said to Chad, I said, well, just ask JD Comics if you can do it on his channel. He'll be happy to do something on his channel. So JD said yes. And like, meanwhile, they run this thing that like nobody watches, and it's just an absolute shit show. The dude who played who's the dude Cudlitz, right? Who was really good on The Walking Dead, played Abraham, right? Dude, the guy kept him backstage so long he left. Was like, fuck you, Fogler.
Wow.
Right? Ends up we had the special guest on there who we weren't allowed to advertise, and it was freaking Daryl, and we weren't allowed to advertise that he was going to be on our con.
Why?
The biggest fucking, because Fogler he wanted it to be a surprise for the 13 people that actually watched it.
Oh, yeah,
it was so bad. We turned the stream ends and JD Comics gets like 48 copyright strikes. Just like bam, and you are banned in New Zealand.
And New Zealand on top of it.
And why banned in New Zealand? How did that work?
It's because of some sort of copyright thing.
Just a random copyright?
Some random thing. I think it's like some other European country that people can't watch his content.
It's amazing.
That is awesome. On the regular videos anyway, but it's like that's hilarious.
All those copyright strikes.
Meanwhile, like I bent over backwards to make all these promo images for this Walking Dead thing. Like I've got we're advertising that more than we're advertising Kevin Conroy is doing a reading as Batman Justice League style, like on our channel. Like we're advertising this fucking Walking Dead dance party that nobody knows what it is. And the dude has the nerve to send us this angry ass email the day before, and he's like, I don't have any advertising. I'm like, bro, this is the one thing we've been promoting. And he's like, yeah, but it doesn't have any info about the event. It's like, you didn't give us any info about your event. So I'm going on record right now as saying, fuck Dan Fogler.
That's a blacklist.
Fuck Fishkill. It might be a great book. It can die in a fire for all I care.
I heard
George, what's the crisis guy? George?
Who?
Perez?
Who? Yeah. I don't know who you're talking
Perez.
about.
George Perez. He erased George Perez from his memory and from existence. From
what's that story?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have a cap line,
might get on you if you erase George Perez. What did George Perez do?
All right, we're in C2E2, right?
Oh, he doesn't lie.
We're at C2E2. It's me and JD, and we're in line to get some guy's signature. Apparently he created the new Teen Titans. I don't know. He drew some Spanos books. We're in line to get his signature because apparently he's retiring. It's going to be like one of his last cons. He's on his farewell tour. So you get in line and you get your books ready to go. You get your CGC witness ready to go. You're going to slab these books. You got an investment ready to go. You're waiting in line. They cap the line and you're like, oh, great. That's like 50 people behind me. Then they come up to about 10 people before you and say, George will not be able to get to you before he breaks for lunch. Bullshit! Learn how to cap a fucking line. Comic books like Mount Rushmore, you're off of it. Let's get some dynamite and blow your ugly ass face off. Ron Lim goes up. You're a poor man's Ron Lim.
I don't like either one. I don't like either one of them, to be honest.
Well, I always thought Perez was a poor man's Schomburg. He just crammed as many people as he could in a nice flat panel.
You know what? No hate towards Schomburg at all because I know his books are worth a fucking mint.
Yeah,
but his art is not that great.
I love Schomburg.
It's not that great.
I love Schomburg.
It's really not great. It's like it's kind of slapdash.
No, I think it's fantastic.
It's like slapdash layouts and then like highly detailed. It's like, well, if you spent more time on your layouts, you wouldn't need to be as highly detailed.
I don't know that made sense.
Are you talking about Mr.
I feel like his figures are highly detailed, yet they have glaring problems with their anatomy.
The story. Oh, okay, I thought you meant the storytelling, because that would make sense.
No.
Very detailed with the.
I feel like yeah, somebody's like slapped on there, and it's like, oh, their fingernails look really great, and their hair looks really great, and their eyes look really great, but their arm looks kind of funky, and their leg looks kind of funky, and
dick is short.
Yeah, the dick. Well, sometimes the dick is short, but you just go with what you got.
Yeah,
this just take longer to get there.
You got to dance with the girl you brought.
Can't always get a 10. You got to get 2 5s sometimes. Yeah.
What about 2 5s? About 5 2s, baby.
5 2s.
5 2s, get a handful.
Not gonna fit in Chaos's rabbit.
You know, the thing about 5 2s is it's easier to control them because you can hold all the leashes with one hand. All right. On that note, I think that we've lost all of our monetized content due to our nonsense. I'd like to thank you all for coming on and being a part of this stream.
And why don't you?
Well, I'd love to, but we're all out of time. No, thank you so much. Bub's Comics
4 hours
for hopping in. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here and being part of the stream. Chaos said you were sore that he didn't want to come on your stream, so let's just
ridiculous.
They say you were never supposed to cross the streams, but we did it just
my
fine.
Stream ended an hour and a half before his slack ass showed up on this one. What the hell? He didn't have time for both. That's like saying, sorry, I can't meet you for dinner. I'm having lunch tomorrow. I'm gonna make it.
That's exactly what I said. You're only 1 2.
I'm glad we could make this your first official time on the Comic Core.
Yeah, and it won't be the last. Look, you got an open invitation any Thursday we do this. You want to hop on, you want to talk shit, we're happy to have you.
I mean, now that he's reading, he might actually fit on here.
Yeah, right.
But that's only going to last a week or 2.
New books
I love it, man. I got 3 more books I'm halfway through right now. It's on.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good to hear, actually.
Yeah, I love it.
Bubs, why don't you throw up your social media, man? Let us know. Where can we find you?
Each Thursday, halfway through the episode, I'll be here on what channel is this? on the Comic Horrors channel. I'll be on Bub's Comics wherever this thing is. Monday night we do the No Faces Comic Chat. It's big fun. We don't show our faces, so if you don't enjoy this, then you'll enjoy looking at some books. Actually, some comic books. So I just got a comment. I'm just throwing this out there because I know you guys like to go exactly 2 hours and 15 minutes. So I just got a comment I got to read to you guys. This was on my CBCS unboxing and new case review from like a month ago, right? And maybe longer. This guy says, Jesus, why do all these guys say book a zillion times a video? Can't throw comic in there a few times? So annoying. So when you get over the 1K mark, these are the comments you get because Google or whatever starts putting these.
Dude,
come watch this video. If you like books, you'll love this. So there you go.
The real big problem there is that we are all idiosyncratic in the way that we hate other people's idiosyncrasies. Isn't that like, I feel like everything that's weird about somebody that I hate, I'm weird for hating it, but I still hate it. I can't get over that.
That could be. I think I'm gonna.
Makes me think of Ghostface Killer was being interviewed, and they were asking about his comic book collection. He was talking about his like 181 and 180. He was calling them books, and it was like a hip hop YouTube channel. But everyone in the comments that read comic books, he goes, he's a real collector because he calls them books, not comic books.
That's true. Right. Ghostface is a real G. Love that Ghostface.
Yeah, I love Ghostface.
Yeah,
so that's where I'm at. I'm on Bub's Comics and on Instagram, Bub's Comics, which I only have one name because I'm not big time like Chris Sarda, a.k.a. Chaos and Comics.
I have like 7 names, and I half-ass them all.
Congratulations. Yeah, that's 3.5 full asses. You're doing good.
Basically, I'm like 2s for YouTube.
There you go.
5 2s.
Keep them on.
I want to know where we can find Jason.
Pretty much here every Wednesday night on the greatest comic book show ever.
Until it gets canceled, we're canceling you guys soon.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised with all our cum jokes.
No, we like the cum jokes. It's just you guys we're not a fan of. We're replacing you with 5 other idiots who talk about cum.
Awesome. Hey, I mean, it makes more sense about on New Comic Book Day, right? You should talk about comics.
Probably.
But so now we got to do that every Thursday.
Thursday, baby. A day late and $1 short. That's what we're changing.
Are you really changing it to Thursday? Are you really changing it? Oh, I was going to say.
They're look, I want you guys to know right now, this is the Thursday night Comic Core comic chat. Okay.
Yeah.
This is where you are right now for the next 5 minutes until I end this stream.
I'm leaving now.
There are a lot of things in the works behind the scenes. There are a lot of moving parts and tectonic plates to the scheme of Comic Core moving forward. And there could be some big changes on the horizon. There could be absolutely zero changes on the horizon. Those changes could take place somewhere else entirely, but there are
we're like DC.
There are dogs in the fire.
We're like the DC.
Yeah, we are very much in a future state at this point. We don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, that sounds rough. Congratulations.
Exactly.
No continuity.
Congratulations on your ass.
No continuity. No continuity.
Right. Yeah. It's like when you get married and somebody gives you a condolence card.
Yeah, that happens.
Can we have any given Jason?
Any given Jason.
Yeah. Whatever happened to Andy? Is he still alive or is he still doing
Dude, all right, here's this. Like Andy said, I need a break from Thursdays. It's hunting season. Right? And I'm like, okay. Like last week he was in the chat. I'm like, what the fuck?
He was probably
just stopped doing his show. I think the wife looked in the eye and said, you need to give up a day. And he's like, well, Thursday's the day where I have to put the show together and try. So that's the day I'm going to give up.
Otherwise, he just shows up.
Right.
Yeah, he's on Modern Men Mondays where we read books. He's always reading something new. We're reviewing something new every week. And normally a classic trade or something that the audience will vote on. Andy will show up on Wednesdays as the laugh track for that show. He wasn't there last night and it wasn't any good.
Yeah, he was.
It was a pretty weak episode. Really, like Alex feigned laziness came across as genuine laziness.
Yeah.
It's that is the show where they work so hard to make it look like they're not working hard, and they're doing a great job pretending that they're. Like, I don't know how much it takes to squeeze 2 hours of a chat show. I mean, in their case, 35 minutes of a chat show out. But like, I Googled one thing and I read 3 books, and we had this show, and we're going on 2 hours and 15 minutes. So it's really not that hard, folks.
I mean, I talk a lot, and you talk a lot.
Jason talks a lot. It's like you just kind of pull.
We talk over Jason a lot.
Yeah.
What?
Right. I sit back and smoke and drink a beer.
I ran out of beers. Actually, I didn't run out of beers, but I forgot to grab one when I went to the restroom.
I gotta run to the Wawa and get something to eat after this because I had some rice and chicken.
It's looking like Jason is sucking on Zatanna's wand. Every time I see him pull that up. No,
that's Jonah Hex's peace pipe.
Yeah,
the other side.
Trans.
Oh my God, this guy! Turn it upside down.
This way.
Part.
Don't hold on to the white part. Hold on to the other part.
Okay.
Yeah, hold on to the bottom. Grab it by the base and then put it to your mouth. What the hell's wrong with this?
Hold it by the base and put it to your mouth, Bub. This is not that kind of show.
On Thursdays it is.
Yeah. Rewind back. This is why me and Bubs aren't allowed on Two Brothers anymore. By the way, you put us both on a show together. Suddenly we just aren't allowed.
That means
you guys are always welcome on my show. I enjoy chaos, and I enjoy chaos in comics. Chris, tell everybody where they can find you beyond those 2 names you have beautifully displayed in green and black right below you. Do you have like a fourth? Like, do you have a Finsta account that we need to know about?
An OnlyFans.
I do have an OnlyFans. You can find me there. All 5.
I have a great idea. I don't want to interrupt, but I want to let you guys know I have a great idea for an OnlyFans. It's just close-up shots of my butthole. So you don't know if I'm a dude or I'm a girl. You're just like, I'm in the turd cutters.
If you've got an OnlyFans page, please shave your butthole. That's my only request. I don't care if you're male, female, whatever. Just slick that
Shit.
fucker down. Will
It's
you?
unfortunate.
yeah.
I'm not doing any sort of maintenance back there.
There's home waxing kits.
Yeah, I mean, hell, just get a pair of pliers
Sure.
and put the real wiring.
Those
ones
home
on.
waxing kits are for someone else's home,
Something.
not mine.
Yeah, I mean, there's home waxing kits, or just get like a lower quality camera, so we're not sure.
Oh, great. Matt, the boy who had
Yeah,
7
I wanna
just popped
see
in, and this is
Smith
what we're
listening
talking
to that
about.
sucker.
Matt,
put
I'm
some gator
sorry.
tape across it. That's classy and comic
Matt-
related.
Matt
Go
knows
back
what he's
and watch the
getting into,
rewind.
too.
There's very wholesome content here somewhere.
Matt
Ridiculous.
knows what he's getting if me and Bubs are on the channel too.
Yeah, that's probably a
He's
true
popped in
story.
and out of many chats when he's seen us.
Yeah, mostly out. Yeah. Just get the hell out fast as
Yeah.
you can.
All right, guys. Look, I'm going to draw a line in the sand. This has been fun, but I got to take a piss. So I'm going to end this stream. So thank you, everybody, for showing up. You know where to find us. Look for Bubs. The rest of us are in the description of this video, and I'll probably add him later. But
Matt's an
if
adult.
you rewatch this video and get this far, then I mean,
Yeah.
just go fuck yourself.
Yeah.